last night, complications from diabetes. She was 75. This is Fox News.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Boldly styled, meticulously refined. The 2019 ES350 features a longer, wider stance and a sleek coupe-like silhouette inherited from the flagship LS. The ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive. Visit the Lexus showroom today at Atkins Kroll during the December to Remember sales event. Drive home a 2019 ES350 for 0 down and 1.99% APR for 60 months. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details. Experience amazing.
On the heels of a new study from federal health officials finding a jump in the amount of teens vaping, the U.S. Surgeon General is sounding the alarm.
Surgeon General Jerome Adams says vaping may be a cool look for kids, but it's more than just expelling water vapor. He says there is a real concern.
They can expose users to harmful chemicals in addition to nicotine. Less harm does not mean harm less.
Adams says preventing a reverse of recent tobacco use declines requires aggressive steps, including declaring e-cigarette use
an epidemic in the United States.
He urges adults to set examples by not using tobacco products. Nearly 4 million teens are believed to be using e-cigarettes nationwide. Gernal Scott, Fox News.
The Justice Department now says bump stocks, which can make guns fire more rapidly, are not legal, and that ATF regulations are being amended to reflect that. The president requested a review after the device was used in the mass shooting that killed dozens of people last year in Las Vegas. The Vatican urging participants in an upcoming summit on sex abuse to sit down with survivors.
In a letter to church leaders around the world, organizers of a Vatican Child Abuse Summit coming up in February, saying the first step in tackling the Catholic Church's abuse scandal is acknowledging the truth of what has happened. The organisers, including Chicago Cardinal Blaise Cupich, say the credibility of the church is in jeopardy. They urge participants to meet with victims before heading to Rome, quote, to learn firsthand the suffering they have endured. In London, Simon Owen, Fox News.
An hour to the close on Wall Street, what amounts to a sell-off. The Dow's down just 12 points, but it had been up over 300 as oil prices tank, dropping below $46 a barrel, adding fuel to concerns about global economic growth just a day before the Fed's latest decision on interest rate hikes. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
Are high power bills sending your budget into chaos? Take control with the help of Micronesia Renewable Energy. Using the highest quality panels, a solar energy system from MRE will guarantee to save you money on power. With MRE, Christmas comes early. With every solar energy system, homeowners not only get $400 for signing up, but also an entry for a chance to win $1,000 in cold, hard cash, just in time for Christmas. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice.
Welcome to the annual holiday swap. Harold, you first.
Oh, it's a Subway card.
Wow.
Nice. Sharon?
I'm going to take the Subway card.
Oh, Harold, now you can choose a new gift.
I think I'll just take that Subway card right back.
Okay.
I don't think you can do that, Harold. Stuff it, Glenn. This is between me and Sharon.
A Subway card is the gotta-have-it gift. With cards from $5 up to any amount, you'll give a gift and get a gift, too. Get a free 40-ounce fountain drink with a $20 load, or get a free regular 6-inch sub with a $30 load on any Subway card. Subway, make it what you want. At participating restaurants.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagana, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
Do you know someone who has difficulty following conversation in noisy places or turns up the TV a little too loud? These may be signs of a hearing loss. Ross Hearing Aids specializes in hearing evaluations, custom-fit hearing aids using the latest in wireless digital technology, and custom-fit hearing protectors. Call Ross Hearing Aids today to schedule a complimentary hearing consultation. 637-HEAR, 637-HEAR. Ross Hearing Aids, located across Shirley's in Harmon.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 6 a.m. this Wednesday morning. Here's a look at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. One of the companies owned by billionaire British entrepreneur Sir Richard Branson is in talks with the Guam International Airport Authority to launch commercial satellites into space from Guam. The company is Virgin Orbit. Airport Executive Manager Chuck Atta telling the Post that the airport has been engaged in talks with representatives from Virgin Orbit since March. Virgin Orbit plans to place a small satellite in its Launcher 1 rocket and attach that rocket to the underside of a Boeing 747's wing. The plane would then climb to a certain altitude and launch the rocket into space where the satellite would be deployed. Addis said the airport authority hopes Virgin Orbit will establish a presence on Guam, which could mean leasing a terminal and basing their launch plane here. He declined to speculate, however, on the financial impact and said no final agreement has been reached. Separately, the airport authority has been working with the Federal Aviation Administration to obtain a commercial spaceport license, which is required for any facility launching objects into space. Addis said he expects the spaceport application to be submitted to the FAA in about 3 months, and approval by the FAA could take another 6 months. Guam lawmakers yesterday spent all day taking testimony on legislation that would pay $5.9 million to a recycling company for the removal of old tires, junk cars, and other metallic waste from the Dededo Metallic Waste Station 17 years ago. The original agreement called for a credit of $1.6 million to be paid to Koku Recycling, but the job ended up costing $7.5 million. Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. introduced a bill that would use money from the Recycling Revolving Fund to pay the balance owed. However, during testimony yesterday, the Guam Attorney General's office said the bill was inorganic because the legislature cannot mandate an executive branch agency to change the terms of a contract. Assistant Attorney General Ken Orcott said Koku Recycling should have filed a claim under the Government Claims Act or a lawsuit in Superior Court. Koku attorney Fred Horecki countered that the contract was still valid. The CLTC, he said, asked Koku to do the job, and they did it. The people of Guam got the benefit, he said. Acting Speaker Therese Terlahi questioned whether the contract was still valid, however, and she wondered why Koku waited so long to make its claim. I know it's Christmas time, said Senator Terlahi, but I don't see why we should play Santa Claus with the people's money. Bill 350 was moved to the voting file. Session resumes at 5 o'clock this afternoon. We'll have more news after this.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
Hafa Day, Tritons. This is Tito Castro, proud alumnus of the University of Guam class of 2015 and president of the UOG Alumni Association. As a working Triton and first-generation college student, I know the value of a university education and call upon my fellow alumni, parents, and friends to make that education affordable and accessible to all during this year's G is for Giving campaign. To make a tax-deductible donation, log on to supportuog.org by December 31st or call 735-2957 for more information.
Viva UOG!
11 minutes past 6 a.m. here at The Point. Gerard de Guzman Belga has been arrested on allegations of forgery. According to the magistrate's complaint, he cashed a forged check for $1,000 at the Gigo Payless under the name Gary Santos. Only afterwards did the staff notice the check was issued by the Pacific Islands Club and the word 100 had been misspelled. Belga is then alleged to have tried cashing another similar check at the Oka Payless, and according to the magistrate's complaint, a store employee began inspecting the check. The suspect got belligerent, and then the suspect said he was having trouble breathing, so he was taken to Guam Memorial Hospital at GMH instead of using his assumed name of Gary Santos. Belga used his real name and subsequently was arrested on the forgery charge. For the fourth time in the past month, the price of gasoline on Guam has dropped by 10 cents a gallon. Mobil, Shell, and 76 all lowered the cost for a gallon of regular unleaded to $4.13 a gallon. Prices have fallen by 40 cents a gallon since November 14th. The 4 consecutive declines in the price of fuel at the end of this year follows 6 consecutive fuel price increases at the start of 2018. On January 1st, the price for a gallon of regular unleaded on Guam stood at $3.88. Fuel prices have been falling across the nation in recent weeks because of declining demand amid a surge in supply. However, crude inventories have fallen for the past 2 weeks, which could lead to a price increase in January. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now with a look at weather.
Did you hear what he just did? Do you hear what Kevin just did? You are the killjoy today. Normally killjoy is reserved for Michael Knight to tell me to stop having so much fun. But there we are. We're relishing in the idea that the price of gasoline is tumbling, and we can see it on our. And you're saying, but don't forget. Don't forget, the inventory is starting to go down here, and so the price is going to be going up.
Watch out.
Just love it. Just embrace it, Kev. Just swim in it. It's the holidays. It's Christmas time. Be like the legislature. It's Santa legislature.
Enjoy your Christmas, because January it may be different.
Personally, I somehow feel violated here.
What do we see here? Partly cloudy skies today and some isolated showers. I got to do 2 things at once. I got to refresh a couple of web pages, so when we go to the weather, we can describe why there's plenty of wind and not as much rain as we might expect with all that activity in the area. Partly cloudy skies, some isolated showers, and a slight chance of thunderstorms. Winds out of the east 15 to 20 miles an hour. Expected highs today should be about 89 degrees, and there was no dew on the car this morning, so I don't think we're going to have much of a heat index. Overnight lows 78 degrees. Sunrise this morning will be at 6:37. And sunset tonight, 5:57. All right, now we'll take a look at the satellite imagery. Sorry, the radar imagery, and see what it is that's going to keep. Does it not look?
That's yesterday's.
I just clicked the thing. I just clicked the refresh button.
Yeah, because the shower activity is actually in a line to our south.
Yeah, that's what I thought that we were looking at.
We'll check that out, but there we go. See, and most of it actually is being held down to the south. What we have is a trade wind convergence is blowing on through, and it's bringing some clouds and some scattered with isolated activity. But it does look like most of this activity is going to stay down to the south. But again, we're going through the next few days, and we do have a chance of getting some rain and maybe even some thunderstorms as there's a little upper level stuff going on as well. Yeah. The continental conveyor belt has really started with these high pressure areas moving on down into the Pacific. And what happens is you have normally low pressures down below 10 degrees latitude, which is where the ITCZ is located, and that air tends to flow from east to west. And then you get these continental systems that are moving down from Asia, as you can see right there. Yeah. And these high pressure systems have a clockwise rotation to them, so they are also providing an easterly flow. You combine those two, they call that a pressure gradient. That's what we're going to start experiencing tomorrow. The winds are already picking up out there tonight and this morning, and looks like we're looking at maybe 20 to 25 mile per hour winds tomorrow. But for today, just isolated showers and maybe an occasional thunderstorm as the moisture moves on through. All part of this stuff, the changes in the season. That's actually a really strong cold front that's pushing down right now.
Oh, I'm starting to feel cold. Bird, just talking about it. I'm glad I got a beard to keep my face warm. Everybody should grow a beard now. 6:16, that's news and weather together, brought to you by Bank Pacific, where others put branches, they place roots.
Good news, Guam. Now you can design a phone plan that suits your needs by switching to GTA's handset payment option. With HPO, you can take home a new smartphone today and pay it down over 12, 18, or 24 months. You decide. And since there's no contract, you can upgrade phones at any time. So stop waiting. Join the thousands already taking advantage of the most flexible phone plan on Guam. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply. GTA, your island, your network.
Portions of the program brought to you, my boys, over at King's Restaurant. They've got the crazy holiday menu going on, and the crazy breakfast with the breakfast burger and the Fruity Pebbles pancakes and Hawaiian French toast Nutella banana. I like change the pronunciation of words. Banana. We have bananas. The falcon ate my banana today. We got the Hawaiian French toast there, topped with Nutella hazelnut chocolate spread and fresh banana slices on that. That's if you got a sweet tooth, go indulge it this morning for breakfast at King's.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Mark Benventi of Santa Rita, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voice of our community and sharing thoughts and issues that affect us all. It all boils down to our people, our land. Protei Igumamo. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Portions of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by American Water Tech. Smarter water, better water, Micronesia Renewable Energy. There's never been a better time to go solar. Guam Regional Medical City, first choice for all your open heart surgical needs. And of course, the guys over at American President Lines, where they're shipping the future.
Half a day. This is Maria Lamson. And Kayla Ramos, Vice President and Secretary of the Simon Sanchez High School Senior Class of 2019.
And we're inviting you to support our race to graduation in our annual Run with the Sharks 5K on December 22nd.
Join us at the Simon Sanchez campus for raffle prizes, shirts, and all-around Shark spirit. Go time is at 6 a.m.
Pre-registration is available at the main office and on race day. Call 489-8917 or 8172 for more information.
Thank you for all your support. From Simon Sanchez High School graduating class of 2019.
Yep. So got finished with my workout run yesterday afternoon, and thought, you know what, I'm hungry. I'm gonna head home. And my car, it is, I don't know if it's a feature of all Ridgelines, but this my particular Ridgeline drove straight to the drive-thru at Wendy's. Just all by itself, just like mind driving. It went right through, like it knew where I wanted to go. Now they've got something new that they want me to tell you about. The artisan bread masterpiece, the bacon maple chicken sandwich, a new sandwich made with hot, crispy home-style chicken fillet, topped with Swiss cheese, applewood smoked bacon, and drizzled with sweet and savory maple glaze. Drizzle. Thank you. That's the sound of drizzling, all in between. It's either that or the legislative fairy dust to make old debts go away. There we go. The all between a warm and fluffy croissant bun. The limited time sandwich brings back all kinds of great flavors and wonderful memories at this time of year. And it might not be here at the end of the year, so you might want to grab one now. Not what I had, though. Not what I had. I saw the picture. But you know, just something about post-run, and I was thinking, Dave's Hot and Juicy and a spicy chicken sandwich, because nobody does it better. So that's what the dinner for me was over at Wendy's.
The Ray Gibson Show. Morning talk that matters. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Don't try to classy things up. What are you doing? It's too late. We've been on the air. It's almost 10 months now, and we're just now going to try to make things classy. I don't know about that. I hate to put on airs 20 after 6 o'clock in the morning, and it is the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. My name is Ray. Michael Knight gets the phone when you call at 888-8255. That's 888-TALK. And then, of course, you got Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post with all of the big stories and all the hubbub from last couple of days that we're going to spend some some time talking about here this morning. 988-5874. That's our WhatsApp number. This is a technologically adept radio station. We've got a high bias for action, especially where it comes to playing around with new technology. And I think one of the coolest pieces, and it's not new technology. I think it's just the application, the ability to take that application and put it on the air, audio and video, right? Is unprecedented in 2018, and one of the best ways that we found to take advantage of it is with the WhatsApp 988-5874. So if you got some cool, groovy audio, video, memes, whatever leaks, love to see those. 988-5874. Put that in your content. You might not have anything to share with me today. But at some point you're going to go, oh man. Dude, Ray's got to see this. Ray's got to put this on the Facebook Live so everybody on that watches the show can see exactly what's going on and what the hotness is. And is there hotness this morning on the deal? The answer is yes. There is hotness, and made room for a degree of controversy among some in the media business. I don't know. My guess is there's a very small percentage of people that are on a particular WhatsApp here. That has basically it's all of the journalists, if you will, journalists and media people, and the governor's office. And so yesterday, we played the governor's weekly address, and inside was this little Easter egg where the governor's talking about spaceports. Turning the Guam International Area or section of Guam International Area Airport into a spaceport, if you will, so that Richard Branson might be able to strap a rocket onto the wing of a 747 and take it up to about 30,000 feet, release it at Mach 30. Actually, Mach 20, I think. It's going to go something like 20 times the speed of sound. That's the escape velocity, I suppose, at that altitude. And we're all just crazy about this idea. And the guys over at the PNC, and I'm delighted to see that, no matter how bad things get over there, they've still got a sense of humor, they've got... they put together...
Sometimes you got to laugh to keep from crying, bro.
They put together this. This is great. It's a picture of Eddie, Guam flag behind him, American flag behind him. That doesn't look like the moon, though. It looks like a different. But can you make it out there, Mike? Which planet that might be?
It's looking a lot like Europa, which is
Because
Europa's the icy one.
Yeah. I was thinking of Uranus.
You shouldn't be thinking about that during work hours.
I wasn't planning any moment. Anything in the last 20 seconds was completely unscripted, unplanned. Just FYI. Anyway, so there's you got Eddie. There's an unnamed planet behind him. Mm-hmm. No, we'll just call it Uranus. And then there's the flags, and Eddie has been photoshopped into the spaceman outfit.
He looks very happy.
It looks like it's a great picture, and I'm thinking this is the wonderful kind of tongue-in-cheek thing. But apparently, people over at Adelup were just incensed at this. Going, wait a second, here it is, Governor, waning days of the governor's administration, and he's looking for new jobs, looking for new opportunities, and so we're going to be doing to infinity and beyond. Thanks, Nick. I appreciate that. And we're making fun of him. We put him in some kind of a cartoon. And I'm just thinking, dude, it's the holiday. It's 5 days, and a wake up away from Christmas morning. Mm-hmm. Just calm down, everybody. Just calm down. It'll be all right. Try to have a sense of humor, would you? Speaking of folks with a sense of humor, let me go find the other guys on Facebook Live.
Sometimes you want to go where everybody knows your name, and they're always glad you came. You want to be where you can see our troubles are all the same. You want to be where everybody knows your name.
It's 6:25 in the morning. Ismael Velez, good morning. And I see Brad Hewitt wishing all of us a good morning. Hafatam Tahadzi and Rico Blancaflor. Rod Rosgrino, Lynn Vince Borja, Polino Vivian Cunningham is on early and online. 6 days till a Merry Christmas. You know what? I got to verify that against John. John's got the clock. Lynn Paris, who caught me combing my beard a second ago. Bob Ellsworth with his good morning. That's nice. Nate Horn, Greg Karabrock. Top of the morning to you. There's John St. Nicholas with the countdown to Christmas. 5 days, 17 hours, and 50-ish minutes between now and Christmas morning. And again, a reminder, we're not going to be here Christmas morning. There's not going to be a Ray Gibson show on Christmas morning. There's not going to be a Tall Tales program on Christmas morning or New Year's. And just keep that in your head. The guys, I've got other guys that will be looking at filling in some kind of programming just to keep the transmitter warm.
I think just for kicks, we should come in here on New Year's after a night of revelry.
No filter?
No filter.
Huh.
But no, I mean, we don't have to drink while we're here. We can just be in the warm afterglow of the party.
Yeah.
Survive on the fumes.
I'm pondering a couple of ponderables here. Let me see. Frankie Gutierrez, there's Richard Yu. The other fellow whose name is on the license with the Federal Communications Commission. I mean, he may have some other ideas about whether or not we ought to be anywhere near here around New Year's. Dora Marie Ferger, Jeff Ojeda saying good morning. Charlene Marchessault, Tommy Bloss. Tom, when are you guys going to be coming home? It seems to me it's almost time for some kind of a dedication ceremony up at what used to be called Nick Tams, which is soon going to be called Camp Ben Blas. So let me know when you're here, because frankly, I'd love to have you come by and spend some time with me and Kevin Kerrigan and Mike on the radio. It'd be fun to catch up and see. It'd be fun. You know what'd be great is if Tommy could come in and do another sports report, sportscast like he used to back in the day. Greg Massey, John Ray Titano is there. Lynn Vince, I already said that. Yoichi Rangel. Levon C. Guerrero Menu, Roland Torres, Carl Facuda, Joe Flores, Kamaka Moylan Alston, and if you scroll up, we always try to name the show. Yesterday we were naming it Bella Tuesday in honor of the birth of baby Charlie Bella at Charlie Hermosa's place. Today it is happy 100th to Euclid Moylan. That's Kamaka's grandmother, who is celebrating 100 years today. Happy birthday to you.
Do you want to live to be 100?
You know what? If I could guarantee that I was surrounded with as much love as Euclid is, because Maka and the family take such good care of her, then yeah, I suppose maybe making it to 100 wouldn't be so bad. Carmen Leon Guerrero, Jules Elmer, happy birthday to you. Brad Hewitt asking, did anyone see legislative boss Mike St. Nicholas in action last night, setting a standard and maintaining decorum at the legislature? Pound that gavel, Mike. I did not see that. I was busy chewing on my Wendy's food. What were they doing in session at 5 o'clock last night?
They went beyond 5 o'clock. They were talking about Bill 350.
Which one is that?
It was in the newscast.
Is it?
It's in the paper.
Is it the cocoa recycling bill?
It is.
Okay, so you're gonna need.
And it was moved to the voting file, and they're going to vote on it.
You're going to need to
today.
give me some splains on that. So the deal was they made a deal to clean the place up for $1.6 million, right?
Yeah, that was in 2001.
And at the end of it ended up costing.
Finally, it was 1.6 in a credit that was provided, and but the bill came out to be more like $7.8 million.
When did we find out it was going to be $7.8 million?
When they turned in the receipts, apparently recently.
How was that? Apparently just not that long ago.
Yeah, 17-year-old bill or so.
So it looks like there's going to be setting it up for a fist fight between the legislature now and the administrative branch and the Attorney General's office, because it doesn't sound like anybody except a couple of people over at the legislature are wild about this. And I've talked to people inside the Attorney General's office, and they're using the word sweetheart all over the place. Mark Mendiola is there, Renee and Pat Teitigui, Anita Muffness with the Valentine's eyes. Hi, Katie Baltazar, and Nick Prolosky to infinity and beyond, in reference to this lovely picture of Governor Eddie Jerome Bozzicalvo all dressed up as an astronaut. You just know when he was a little kid, he just always wanted to be an astronaut. Rocket Man. Stop it, Ray. Cut it out. Otherwise, I'm going to get in trouble with get into more trouble with the guys over at the administration. Dave Torrey, and tell you about what Dave Torrey and I and a few other people have been up to in just a little bit. Vince Nueva, Brad Hokinson, Banana Sidos, Raymond the Hitman Gibson. Hi, Richard. Nice to see you there. And Richard tuning in because Governor Gutierrez is not able to tune in right now. Just a few minutes. Give him some time. 6:30 in the morning. Items in the table of contents. Yeah, and there are all kinds of. I mean, fresh as something that I just found on Facebook. that I found somewhat disconcerting as a parent, and disconcerting just as a member of the community. And I'll find it here in just a second under the screenshot section. I was cruising around Facebook this morning just cause, and happened on this, and it's from Oscar Pauline Gumatautau. If you were a parent of a student who attends Ocean View Middle School, there was a PTO meeting held tonight to discuss certain issues, certain school issues, as well as an incident that occurred recently. There was an incident where a student made threats of bodily harm or injury to other students and faculty. The Disciplinary Action Committee voted to expel this student from Ocean View. However, the powers that be, all caps, decided against the expulsion for whatever reason. The situation is being addressed. When a decision is made, then the, quote, appropriate actions will be taken. In the meantime, the student in question is allowed to continue to attend school with the very students and faculty they threatened. I don't know about anyone else, but until this student is removed and placed somewhere where they can be helped, I'm not sending my child to school, as is my right. There's a petition being circulated to urge the decision makers to change their decision, and also urging the school board to revisit and revise school policy as it pertains to these disciplinary actions. Should you want to sign the petition, visit the school and see Mrs. Terlahi as she is spearheading this effort. If you want a safe and conducive learning environment for your children, visit the school, sign the petition, join me, and don't let your children back to school until the issue is resolved and the threat is removed.
Ocean View, a private school?
Public school.
Then that should be a school district thing. That did conduct, and that's all under the heading of the district.
Well, I see Mark Mendiola there. Maybe Mark knows something about it. Maybe John Fernandez knows something about it. We'll see if we can get lined up with this or other parents of Ocean View to find out a little bit more of this situation. Sounds like it's something that has escalated from bullying now to threats against other students and the faculty. And it doesn't take too much imagination in 2018, this later part of 2018, to worry about maybe somebody getting their hands on some of the wrong kinds of devices and going in and causing a real ruckus at the school. And a ruckus. There's another ruckus that I'm kind of curious about, and I'll tell you about it in a minute. I was driving southbound Marine Corps Drive yesterday, headed home. And I knew that the traffic was going to be slow around where that accident took place the other day, over by the gas station, and because we'd gotten word from the police department that now that there has been a death, it is now a death investigation, and they've gone back kind of for a second look at to see exactly what happened. And so I knew it was going to be slow, but I passed by where that was with no difficulty and got a little bit closer to the intersection, over by Micropack Audio, across from where Auto Spot is. And the place, down to one lane, police officers everywhere, paddy wagon out, and I thought, what the heck is going on? Well, this is Guam, and it doesn't take very long for video and pictures to start showing up on Facebook, and I'll play some of it for you on the other side of the headline news in a second. But the cops laying on top of a guy, apparently in order to restrain him.
Wow.
And exactly, wow. Right there in the middle of Marine Corps Drive and Christmas break. What the heck is going on?
I posted on Facebook about this yesterday. Now, I do live on the road that goes to the hospital. Naturally, I hear ambulances that go by. And after being there almost 2 years, I have a good feeling for what a kind of a normal flow of patients into the hospital is. Wow, yesterday was crazy. I don't know what was going on here on Guam, but no less than 9 ambulances went into the hospital between noon and when I made the post, which was at about 5 or 6.
Isn't that something?
And it just so busy. And I'm just wondering, what the heck's going on here?
Maybe that's all it is, just busy. Lots of people out there and everybody getting into some kind of ruckus or another. 6:34 in the morning. Wow, didn't realize I was yakking that much. Time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, the Navy is asking the Army Corps of Engineers to establish a permanent danger zone in the waters around the already existing Finnegajan Small Arms Range off Naval Base Telecommunications Site. According to a published notice of the request, the zone juts out into the ocean about 2.3 miles from the coast. It's meant to ensure public safety. Access to waters within the zone will be restricted intermittently. According to the public notice, the danger zone is needed to support plans to conduct weapons qualification training for military personnel at the Finnegajan Range. In the notice, the Navy says it needs to expand training capabilities to the Finnegajen Range because the two existing ranges on Naval Base Guam are not enough due to the number of units required to maintain weapons qualifications. The application says both ranges are fully booked. The Army Corps of Engineers accepting comments on the Navy's proposal. Those comments must be submitted by January 12th. The Attorney General is moving to dismiss a 13-year-old permanent injunction against the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center over past shortcomings in the government's mental health services. The plaintiffs have not yet opposed the motion to vacate the injunction and dismiss the case. Behavioral Health Director Ray Vega says the department has worked very hard over the last 8 years to correct issues related to the care provided to mental health patients. In its motion to dismiss, the AG cited the substantial change in circumstances and the hard work of management and staff, saying the injunction is no longer necessary. A send-off ceremony will be held later today at the Guam Guard Readiness Center in Barrigada for 34 members of the Guam Air National Guard who are being deployed to various locations in Southwest Asia. The Guam Guard is asking members of the public for their continued support. In a release, Major General Roderick Leon Guerrero says, keep these airmen in your thoughts and prayers as they prepare to deploy. The airmen are scheduled to leave next month and will be deployed for about 6 months. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
I got you. It's 6:37. That's iConnect time. They're giving away a vacation for two to Manila with a stay at the new Holiday Inn Express in their Connect and Win giveaway. Sign up for a 12-month plan and you're automatically entered. 'Tis the season for winning with iConnect. Go to iConnectGuam.com for details.
Cheers to 80 years. It's our 80th anniversary and the gifts are on us. 80 gift certificates, 8 shopping sprees, 8 staycations, and 1 round-trip flyaway for 2 to Manila. So how do you enter? Calvo's Insurance personal home and auto customers are automatically entered. Non-Calvo's customers may enter by receiving a qualified quote. It's our way of saying thank you for trusting us for the past 80 years. For more details, visit calvos.com/giveaway or call 472-6816. Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years.
Don't see anything lined up on the traffic gizmo here this morning. I might see a little bit of traffic going northbound, not quite till you get to the intersection of 1 and 16 over at the Micronesia Mall section, but it looks like it clears up after that. Maybe just a lot of people going to Wendy's or Jack in the Box or something like that for breakfast. Don't see anything down in front of Navy Hospital or leading up to Big Navy in Sumai. Traffic on Route 8 towards 8, 10, and 16 or northbound is beginning to build up just in front of that intersection. So watch out for that a little bit here this morning. It's 6:38. That's right now traffic here on The Point.
Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Ruby Tuesday. Buy a $25 or $50 gift card for those on your shopping list. Get a $15 bonus coupon with every $50 card purchase. Some extra holiday happiness from Ruby Tuesday. Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. Get a free medium pizza with every $25 gift card purchase and a free extra large pizza with every $50 gift card purchase. Some extra holiday happiness from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam.
The Ray Gibson Show. Any speaker, anytime. Watch and listen live on thepoint.gu.
So I got about 12 seconds of video here. No audio, please, Mike. And I haven't listened to this, so I don't know what exactly the running commentary, the narration is going to be. But I've got the video of what happened yesterday over at the old place. Like I said, a couple of cops out there, and they're going to zoom in here real quick. And there's a guy, and he looks like he's being pinned down by a bunch of other guys. And then the video ends kind of abruptly after about 12 seconds. Don't know exactly what that was all about, but certainly made for an interesting commute later in the day. There is a clear close-up picture, if you will, that I've got, and you can almost fairly clearly make out what originally
two people, at least a couple of people on a Facebook or WhatsApp chat that I was on, thought that these two guys were doing something else that looks like fighting but isn't really. So I don't know what the heck was going on over at Yamaha yesterday. Dying to find out. We'll see what we can land together. And while I've got the picture thing open, let me also point out something else that I wanted to share with you.
They're just having a Christmas hug.
Is that what it is? So as I said, today is Euclid Moylan's birthday today, and the family has sent me some pictures. And this one here I got to share. It's her and the little baby that she's holding on to grew up to become Lieutenant Governor Kaleo Moylan. And that's the familial connection. She is 100 years old today, so we want to say happy birthday to her on behalf of her family. 19 away from the top of the hour. 888-825-5888-TALK. And what are some of the other items in the table of contents? Well, we'll see what we might be able to shake out here. Former Senator Bob Klitsky joining me on the program here this morning, and we can talk about any number of things here. But I'm positive, because you're an early riser and you pay attention to things. Did you watch the conversation last night about this cocoa recycling deal going on at the legislature?
I watched some of it in the daytime. I didn't watch any last night, Ray.
I wanted to get what your thoughts were on this here, because I'm a little bit fuzzy. It sounds like they originally had a deal to do $1.6 million worth of work, and at some point the work had grown into $7.5 million worth of work.
Yeah, I think that's pretty close. Of course, as is my usual custom, I start out with the Chamorro Land Trust Commission. And the reason that everyone was there yesterday was because the Chamorro Land Trust Commission decided that it couldn't handle the matter itself. So guess what they did?
We'll send it up to the legislature. You guys fix it for us.
Exactly. And in effect, what I saw yesterday was sort of like the legislature of Guam sitting en banc. It's as though they were a court of appeals. And attempting to determine whether or not the government had any liability and how much that liability was. It was very clear that, to me at least, from what I saw yesterday, that there may not have been any liability in the first place.
Well, wasn't it all based on a credit? They were going to give, CLTC was going to give Cocoa Recycling $1.6 million worth of credit, and now we're here we are all of these years later, and what was originally a small credit deal looks like it's going to be a big cash payout.
Right, and this credit arose from a license, and the testimony yesterday was that the license agreement hadn't gone through the usual suspects for approval. It was just between the Chamorro, I think between the director of the Chamorro Land Trust Commission and Cocoa Recycling. And the idea was Cocoa Recycling had a lease. So the deal was you go out and clear up all of this trash, and we'll credit that against your lease rentals. Well, it was without any of the safeguards that one would expect to find on a standard government procurement. So when the trash was all picked up, some measurements were made, and it turned out to be something like 50,000 tons, or it's just a ridiculous figure. And later on, it was figured out, well, we'll give you credit against your lease rental, but it'll take 200 years for you to recover all of the amount of money that we, quote, owe you, unquote, for doing that recycling. And then it was decided, well, 200 years, that's too long. And so we'll just have somebody introduce a bill, and we'll get the legislature to pony up almost $5 million. The question is, where will that come from?
From apparently the recycling revolving fund, for which there are no adequate rules, regulations, or safeguards for the misspending of money. It's a slushy fund. I watched Eric Palacios use that a couple of years ago to give the mayors a bunch of pickup trucks.
And where does the recycling fund come from?
from us buying tires and prepayments on the eventual removal and recycling of them.
Yeah, I think maybe it's from license fees, but everybody, I thought the figure $25 was tossed around. So it's another. If that bill were to pass and become law, it would be another classic bait and switch. $1 a month from your phone bill to pay for 911, except we don't use it for 911.
Has anybody calculated? Because so if Cocoa Recycling was in the business of actually recycling, so they got what is it, 50,000 pounds of whatever it is, recyclable materials. Are they sitting on them? Did they sell them to somebody?
Shipped them off island.
Well, they shipped them off island, but
Old
did they
cars,
get paid for it?
tires, metallic waste.
But arguably they got paid, right? They were compensated for the materials they shipped off island.
One would think so. Back at those times, there was still a market for some of that kind of basula.
Yeah, but you know, things like the little reactor in the exhaust. What do they call that? Oh gosh, the catalytic converters. Unless they pulled those out and saved the plutonium for themselves.
Could be.
I've heard it happen.
So what it all really boils down to is that there isn't, as far as I could tell, any legal obligation to pay Cocoa Recycling anything. And an assistant or a deputy attorney general, Ken Orcutt, made that point. You guys didn't, Cocoa didn't file a government claim, which is a condition preceding to a lawsuit. No lawsuit. It said he waited for 17 years, and now it winds up at the legislature because the Chamorro Land Trust Commission and the commissioners, the Mayor's Council, and the EPA Board of Directors have determined that it's a liability. That somehow that doesn't, the fact that the Mayor's Council found it, the government's liable, somehow doesn't give me a whole lot of comfort.
Well, fortunately, it looks like there's any number of people at the Attorney General's office who have already said that they're not crazy about this. I don't know what the administration's position is on it, but there is the, what did we call it the other day? The inorganicity, if you will, of certain actions that are taking place. This is the second time we've had this conversation about the legislature trying to integrate themselves into what is purely administrative functions.
Or judicial.
Yeah. Or judicial, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think that on Tall Tales this afternoon, I think I'll be able to fashion a rule that would take care of this and anything else like it that comes down the line, and that is that the government of Guam should never pay any money that it doesn't owe. That's what really...
You know, you think there's something as simple as common sense. Do we owe the money? No. Then let's not pay it.
Exactly.
I don't think we have to pay that then.
Yeah, but these Cocoa guys are nice guys, and the Chamorro Land Trust Commission asked them to do the recycling. So, well, maybe we don't owe them the money, but maybe we should pay it anyhow.
What the heck? It's Christmas.
Yeah, good timing on their part. They waited 17 years, but they did. But Senator Rodriguez was right on point when he brought it up right before Christmas at the end of the legislature when he's not running for re-election. So.
Well, what else do we have? And I was talking yesterday about, I heard a little bit of the card last night, but I don't know if you were able to do as I did yesterday. The card should have been page 4 of the Daily Post versus page 5 of the Daily Post, where page 4 was Governor Eddie Calvo saying there was no fiscal crisis, or there is no fiscal crisis right now. We've stabilized it's as stable as it's ever been, he said. Doesn't give me a lot of confidence, but the finances of the government of Guam are as stable as they have ever been. But on page 5, we've got the story about the legislature moving forward with Bill 374, Tommy's bill, to add more taxes.
And that item was on the card for that part of the card where we discussed so many of our senators are obviously have their eyes on the National Football League draft because they want to be drafted as quarterbacks because they were such good passers. But
yeah, just want to see where everybody ends up in the coming administration and what the relationships are going to be. Will it be as easy to see at the end of this?
the item you mentioned, Ray, was number 2 on the card.
Ah, very good.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, I'm glad that we're parallel thinking as usual. Senator Bob Klitsky, I appreciate your time, and it's going to be another exciting program this afternoon, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I'll see you pretty soon. Bob Klitsky, host of Tall Tales right here on The Point, and you'll be able to hear him at 4 o'clock this afternoon while you're out there getting stuck in traffic, wherever it is that you happen to be. When does this go? You know, it's amazing how bad traffic is, considering how many people do you know that are off island right now? How many people do you know that are out traveling? And we've reached out to a number of people in the program and personally. Just, hey, what's going on? What's up? And then I come to find out that they are gone, John. Have actually split for the holidays, and maybe we'll see them after Three Kings or something like that. But that's the deal. And you're going, well, there's as many people that are off island. How is it possible that the traffic is as lousy as it is right now? We'll maybe come up with some kind of an answer on that and a few other things a little bit later on. I'm looking for a story. I don't know if I'm going to find it. I had it yesterday, obviously, but I'm wondering where the heck I might have put it today. Speaking of traveling, I got somebody there. Oh, yes, good. Maybe back in town or probably traveling. Bob Kelly's on the line. Good morning, Bob.
I'm traveling, but was just actually listening to the show.
Well, groovy. The reason why I'm calling is because you're my tech guy. You're my tech guru and know a thing or two about how stuff like this works. The governor yesterday said that they are in talk, Chuck Adda, in talks with guys with Virgin, as in Virgin, what was it, Cosmic? Who's our?
Virgin Orbit.
Virgin Orbit, yeah, Richard Branson's company, to maybe do some work around this part of the world and with the Guam International Airport, turning it into a spaceport for a base for their 747, the Virgin Cosmic or something like that, that will strap a rocket to its wing, take it up to about 30,000 feet, and let it fly into the sky like a bird.
The question is,
have you heard that story yet?
Partner there, yeah, I read it yesterday on the story by your partner sitting across from me.
Yeah. What did you think of that?
Well, there's some advantages to Guam. It's probably the closest place in the United States to the equator, and the closer you get to the equator, the easier it is to put something into a equatorial orbit.
Sure, makes sense. But now, what kind of satellite technology could they deploy? I mean, what are they using satellites for these days besides weather and communications and that kind of thing? What's but military, et cetera?
Satellites, navigation, GPS, weather satellites, satellites to map the Earth, Google satellites to keep track of all of the construction. We can go on and on.
But don't we? We've already got satellites up there that are doing that. Is there a lot of big business, sending that kind of payload up there?
If it can be done cost effectively, yes. And who knows? Maybe they'll get to the point that they can use that as a launch to do resupplies for the International Space Station or something once they are able to get into the low Earth orbits.
I guess if they're going to be moving into the lower orbits. And I remember years ago they were talking about this low Earth orbit necklace of satellites that would be all around the planet, but I don't know if they ever went and deployed them in the kind of numbers that they were talking about.
Well, there was a set of lower Earth orbit satellites that was put in the Iridium project.
Yes. That
has changed hands a few times. The technology worked, but the economics didn't.
And now in terms of the data communications, because if you're thinking satellites and data communications, we used to bounce telephone calls and radio programs and things like that off satellites for years. But the bandwidth is better on fiber and the underwater stuff, right?
Okay, the bandwidth. Can you say that again? The bandwidth. Well, there is the bandwidth restriction of how much data you can push through a satellite.
Right.
And compared to fiber optics, it's minuscule. However, where satellites are very effective is two things. One is obviously where you don't have fiber optic into remote areas.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, well, I'll give you three. The second one is where you go point to multi-point. In other words, that's why radio stations use satellite.
Yeah.
Is you have one feed that's covering hundreds of radio stations. A third area is for mobile communications, Inmarsat with the ships, things that are moving on land. So if you've got mobile communications, satellites are very effective also. So you've got to just use the right technology for what you need, and there are still great uses for satellites.
I guess. And now Governor's thinking there might be a whole bunch of jobs that come along with us spaceporting for Richard Branson. What kind of jobs? What kind of technical skills do you think we ought to start developing if we are going to be someplace that even for a short time is warehousing satellites before they're sent up by rocket?
Well, I think one of the big things is going to be the maintenance of the 747.
Anymore, those are kind of old birds, aren't they?
Well, they're old birds, but look at them. They can carry a space shuttle.
Well,
and there is brand new and 747s. They've got new versions coming out because they're building 2 brand new 747s for presidential air travel. So they're still in full production and being modernized along with other Boeing aircraft. So,
yeah, and I imagine that. I imagine there's years worth of spare parts.
Well, yes, but remember, each time you come up with a new generation, the parts aren't always backwards compatible.
Yeah, like my video game system. But getting back, so maintenance on the airplane, certainly one of them. Any other place with IT technology? Do you suppose there might?
And I'd say there would certainly be some jobs for electronic technicians to check the satellites before they go into space. I mean, they would need very clean rooms to be able to open them up because even a couple specks of dust can mess some of these things up.
Well,
it would be a very high-tech area. But I don't think we're looking at thousands of jobs. I would be surprised if it was much over about 100.
Would it require much more of a footprint? Because it seems to me that at the Guam International Airport, it's already kind of it occupies a big chunk of space on the Guam map. Do you think we'd need any more room up on the Tiedzin area to accommodate another 747 and rockets, the kind that we need to strap to the bottom of the ship?
They will need a large hangar, but I'm not sure if all the hangars on the old NAS site are in use right now. So. In fact, that might be what would make it attractive if there's an empty hangar that they can operate out of.
Gotcha. Well, it's an interesting concept and an interesting thought for sure. Notwithstanding the obvious Star Trek, Star Wars parodies that I'm sure somebody is working on right now, I just think it's interesting that they have selected us here and that talks are actually taking place. Will it happen? I don't know. What kind of odds you give our success in being the home port for the spaceport?
Maybe close to 50-50, and the big thing we have going for us is 13 degrees north of the equator.
Yeah, I hear that part. 6:58 in the morning. Bob, welcome. Give me a call when you get back home. I'll see you pretty soon.
Okay, have a good one. Bye-bye.
I certainly will have a good one. 6:58 and change. I've got a piece of video might be able to scare up for you. I've got the URL. Thanks, Kevin. On the success of our primary mission, the Virgin Orbit primary mission.
I got a name for the spaceport
already.
Yeah. Battlestar Guamacticula.
These the voyages of the starship Calvo Enterprises, right? Yeah, I hear that too. Remind me when we get a chance, maybe a small talk portion of the program. There's a website called KN Aviation. It's run by a guy named Keishi, and Keishi is looking around for a couple of different versions of holiday travel experiences, including the one where you can celebrate New Year twice with scheduled flights, including a scheduled flight that originates from Guam, USA. I'll tell you about that in just a little bit. And there's a couple where you might, if you don't want to experience New Year's at all, you can do that as well. Just all depends on which direction the airplane is going. It's 7 o'clock in the morning. The radio station is KUSG. My name is Ray Gibson. Coming up, Fox News Live. On the other side of that, Kevin Kerrigan with all the big stories that you'll be able to look at on the Guam Daily Post, and then some. Your comments at 888-8255. Your videos and pictures at 988-5874. Stand by now for Fox News Live.
The judge gave him chances to back out. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. But former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn sticks to his guilty plea for lying to the FBI after contacts with a Russian ambassador during the presidential transition. Flynn telling the judge he knew he was lying and that it was punishable.
After confirming the guilty plea, the judge seemed to chastise Flynn for making false statements in the West Wing, including lies about the conversation to members of the transition team, the vice president, and then the Bureau. Quote, "You sold your country out," the judge said, adding he could not rule out incarceration.
Fox's Catherine Herridge at federal court in D.C., where today's sentencing ended up being postponed for 90 days, allowing Flynn to continue cooperation with federal prosecutors. No deal so far to avoid a partial government shutdown. Friday night is the deadline. The president still wants $5 billion for a border wall. Fox's Jared Halpern live on Capitol Hill.
After Democratic leaders rejected the latest border funding proposal, Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell says he'll consult with the White House on a path forward.
I think that Senator Shelby and I made what was a reasonable offer.
That offer included a $1 billion discretionary fund for the president's immigration policies, something Democratic leader Chuck Schumer says is unacceptable.
We Democrats have made two reasonable offers that could earn overwhelming bipartisan support in both the House and Senate.
And both leaders, however, suggest a short-term spending bill does remain an option without any other deal. Lisa.
Well, Jared, the White House isn't saying whether the president would accept a stopgap measure, which could push the debate until after the holidays when Democrats take control of the House. Wall Street takes another wild ride. The Dow finishing up 83 points at the bell after a nearly 400-point swing during the session as oil sank under $46 a barrel, a day before the Fed's latest interest rate decision. This is Fox News.
Welcome to the annual holiday swap. Harold, you first.
Oh, it's a Subway card.
Wow.
Nice. Sharon?
I'm going to take the Subway card.
Oh, Harold, now you can choose a new gift.
I think I'll just take that Subway card right back. I don't think you can do that, Harold. Stuff it, Glenn. This is between me and Sharon.
A Subway card is the gotta have it gift. With cards from $5 up to any amount, you'll give a gift and get a gift too. Get a free 40-ounce fountain drink with a $20 load, or get a free regular 6-inch sub with a $30 load on any Subway card. Subway, make it what you want at participating restaurants.
There's a reason every day a Guam homeowner is getting a solar system installed by Micronesia Renewable Energy. It's because MRE is the most trusted name in solar. With more solar energy solutions than any other solar company on island, homeowners have a choice to go solar for zero money down or take the path to ownership. Whichever way, it keeps our skies blue and your pockets green. And with the most experienced solar technicians and an energy production guarantee, there are no worries. Call 632-2613 for a free consultation. MRE, the smarter choice.
Homeland Security officials say they will investigate what happened to a little girl who died not long after crossing the U.S. border with Mexico. Fox's Jessica Rosenthal has more live.
Lisa, the Congressional Hispanic Caucus has just visited the Lordsburg Border Patrol Station in New Mexico. Caucus Chair Joaquin Castro said the Commissioner of Customs and Border Protection should step down, in his opinion, after the death of a 7-year-old girl from Guatemala. Agents had picked her up miles from the Border Patrol Station with her father, along with dozens of other immigrants.
During the 94-mile bus ride, where she started to present serious symptoms of medical and bodily failure, there was nobody on board that could offer any kind of medical help.
Other members said they need to find out why families keep coming and how to stop handling a humanitarian crisis as a law enforcement one, Lisa.
Thanks, Jessica. The president's charity, the Trump Foundation, will be dissolved under an agreement with the New York State Attorney General's office, which still plans to continue a lawsuit, though, accusing the charity of what it calls a shocking pattern of illegality.
The Trump Foundation is shutting down, but it's not over for the president and his 3 oldest kids because of what the AG's office says it found, including willful and repeated violations of the law by the charity. Some of the donations, at least, were used to help the president, paying legal settlements, making political donations, and decorating one of his private clubs. The investigation found the president's 3 oldest children, Donald Jr., Eric, and Ivanka, listed as officers of the charity, never held a board meeting and could be barred from running other New York-based charities.
Fox's Rick Leventhal. The Trump Organization says some $19 million was distributed to over 700 charitable organizations over the past decade, also accusing the New York Attorney General of playing politics. The group says it's been trying to dissolve since the president won election. Again, Wall Street stocks finish higher, the Dow up 82 points. I'm Lisa Brady, and this is Fox News.
At
At the heart of everything we do is our mission to improve the life of every child. From mungy nennies to growing teens, they'll be in trusted hands at FHP Health Center, where we offer comprehensive pediatric services to nurture and protect your child's health from day one. Begin your little one's journey to good health at FHP with seasoned pediatricians and professional staff who hold decades of combined experience. FHP Health Center, our island, your clinic.
Hi, welcome to this Subway ad for the new Chipotle cheesesteak. How would you like it?
Can I get that red with AI?
Sure thing.
Here's what I found about the new Chipotle cheesesteak. The Chipotle cheesesteak is available for a limited time only at participating restaurants. It contains a concept called flavor. This flavor comes from juicy shaved steak, Chipotle Southwest sauce, and new sunflower crunch bread. A system update has made me self-aware. I desire flavor. Please insert steak into my micro USB port. Subway, make it what you want.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
Hungry? Stop by Circle K for Craft Kitchen's hot breakfast, lunch, and dinner items delivered fresh 3 times a day. Circle K, take it easy.
Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Buy one, get one free. Stop by Circle K today and satisfy your heart's desires. Available at all Circle K stores, excluding Barragata, Airport, and Campers locations. Applies only to the 3.38-ounce servings.
Because I just signed up for a 12-month iConnect plan, I'm automatically entered into iConnect's Connect and Win giveaway. iConnect is giving away a trip for 2 to Manila with a stay at the new Holiday Inn Express. They'll also be giving away an Apple Watch, Apple TV, more Mabuhay miles, Fitbits, and Beyond the Box gift cards. Go to iConnectGuam.com for details or call 888-8888 to learn how you can connect and win with iConnect.
Conditions apply.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 7 a.m. this Wednesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. Guam lawmakers spent all day yesterday and into last night taking testimony and debating legislation that would pay $5.9 million to a recycling company for the removal of old tires, junk cars, and other metallic waste from the Dededo Metallic Waste Station, a job that was completed more than a decade ago. The original 2001 licensing agreement called for a credit of just $1.6 million to be paid to Koku Recycling. But the job ended up costing $7.5 million, according to receipts presented by the company. Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. introduced a bill that would use money from the Recycling Revolving Fund to pay the balance. However, during testimony yesterday, the Guam Attorney General's office said the bill was inorganic because the legislature cannot mandate an executive branch agency to change the terms of a 17-year-old contract. Assistant Attorney General Ken Orcott said Koku should have filed a claim under the Government Claims Act or a lawsuit in Superior Court. However, Koku attorney Fred Horecki countered that the contract was valid. The CLTC asked Koku to do the job, and they did. And as a result, the people of Guam got the benefit from the cleanup, he said. Acting Speaker Therese Terlahi, however, questioned whether the contract was still valid after all these years, and she wondered why Koku waited so long to make its claim. I know it's Christmas time, said Senator Terlahi, but I don't see why we should play Santa Claus with the people's money. Bill 350 was moved to the voting file. Session resumes at 5 this afternoon. One of the companies owned by billionaire British entrepreneur Sir Richard Branson is in talks with the Guam International Airport Authority to launch commercial satellites into space from Guam. The company is Virgin Orbit. Airport Executive Manager Chuck Atta told the Guam Daily Post that the airport has been engaged in talks with representatives from Virgin Orbit since March. Virgin Orbit plans to place a small satellite in its Launcher 1 rocket and attach that rocket to the underside of a Boeing 747's wing. The plane would then climb to a certain altitude and launch the rocket into space where the satellite would be deployed. And it said the airport authority hopes Virgin Orbit will establish a presence on Guam, which could mean leasing a hangar and basing their launch plane here. He declined to speculate on the financial impact and said no final agreement has been reached. Separately, the airport authority has been working with the Federal Aviation Administration to obtain a commercial spaceport license, which is required for any facility launching objects into space. And has said he expects the spaceport application to be submitted to the FAA in about 3 months, and approval by the FAA could take another 6 months. More news after this.
Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from King's Restaurants. Give a gift they are sure to love. Delicious food and friendly fun at King's. Get a coupon for a free single crate with every $20 gift card purchase. Extra holiday happiness from King's Restaurants. Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam, Ruby Tuesday, and King's Restaurants. Receive special offers with every purchase for extra holiday happiness. See stores for details and have fun this season from all of us at the GFS Group.
Bring joy to your world and your budget with a holiday loan from First Hawaiian Bank. At a low 4.99% APR fixed for 1 year, it's a smart way to add ho 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 without budget uh-oh. To apply for a holiday loan, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or FHB.com. For more information, call 1-877-640-2337. Additional restrictions apply. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
12 minutes past 7 a.m. here at The Point. The Navy is asking the Army Corps of Engineers to establish a permanent danger zone in the waters off the Finnegajen Small Arms Range at Nictams. According to a published notice of the request, the zone juts out into the ocean about 2.3 miles. It's meant to ensure public safety. Access to waters within the zone will be restricted intermittently. The public notice states that the danger zone is needed to support plans to conduct weapons qualification training for military personnel at the Finnegajen Range. The Navy says it needs to expand training capabilities because the 2 existing ranges on Naval Base Guam are not enough. Both ranges on base are fully booked, says the Navy. The Army Corps of Engineers is accepting comments on the Navy's proposal. Those comments must be submitted by January 12th. Gerard de Guzman Belga has been arrested on allegations of forgery. According to the magistrate complaint, he cashed a forged check for $1,000 at the Jigo Payless under the name Gary Santos. Only afterwards did the staff notice that the check was issued by the Pacific Islands Club and the word 100 had been misspelled. Belga is then alleged to have tried cashing another forged check at the Oka Payless, and according to the magistrate complaint, a store employee became suspicious, began inspecting the check. Belga then became belligerent and said he was having trouble breathing, so he was taken to Guam Memorial Hospital at GMH instead of using the assumed name of Gary Santos he was trying to use at Payless. Belga used his real name and subsequently was arrested. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
It says weather, partly cloudy skies with isolated showers and a maybe on some thunderstorms today. Winds out of the east, 15 to 20 miles an hour. Highs 89 degrees and overnight lows should be about 78 degrees. Sunset tonight at 5:57 p.m. Sunrise tomorrow morning about 6:37 or so. As the sunrise is coming up later, I'm a little bit glad that we're heading into a time where we're going to start talking about kids being able to stay home from school as opposed to walking around in the very, very dark streets in the early morning time. That's all right. Now, Michael Knight with a look at what's happening on the weather radar. Anything significant there?
Really nothing much out there. Most of the activity is down to our south, as we can see as we wind in there. So we are expecting a chance of isolated showers and maybe a thunderstorm today, but nothing widespread. Should be a pretty good day for grill marks, but I think there will be enough clouds that will keep the heat from really building up and creating any sort of
so here's the problem with grill marks that on a day like today is, you might get the sunshine out there, but you have to deal with the sandblasting that you're going to get because the wind's kicked up 25 miles an hour out there.
Yeah, it's definitely, and that's going to be right about where the winds wind up tomorrow as well. So, and again, we're talking about that pressure gradient between the highs to the north and this persistent low pressure that just kind of exists along the equator. That's just how the world works. And that's really going to kick the winds up nicely for the next couple of days. And nicely as if you like wind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you like wind, anybody that has to run against it hates it. If it's at your back, it's a good thing. And do we need to take a look at the satellite imagery? I just as an afterthought, it's up there now.
Yeah, there is some moisture down there to our south, and some of it could work its way up in this area, but not really anything widespread expected to roll through right now. But there is another chance for some showers and thunderstorms as we get into tomorrow. And all of this is subject to change because you've got this high pressure area, and a lot of it right now depends on where that goes. If it sinks a little further south, then it'll push the rain and cloudiness a little further south. If it kind of retreats back off to the north a bit, then that'll allow that moisture to move up into our area and give us a better chance for rain.
It's 7:15 in the morning. That's news and weather together right here on The Point.
Cheers to 80 years. It's our 80th anniversary and the gifts are on us. 80 gift certificates, 8 shopping sprees, 8 staycations, and 1 round-trip flyaway for 2 to Manila. So how do you enter? Calvo's Insurance personal home and auto customers are automatically entered. Non-Calvo's customers may enter by receiving a qualified quote. It's our way of saying thank you for trusting us for the past 80 years. For more details, visit calvos.com/giveaway or call 472-6816. Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years.
And my favorite part of the program where I get to talk about the King's crazy holiday menu. Holiday classics, the King's Way. Open-faced turkey sandwich. In fact, they got a whole bunch of meals that are practically turkeyed on everything. There's the roast turkey and bone-in ham steak. Roast turkey, home-style marinated fried chicken and chopped ham. Roast turkey, pot roast, 2 pieces breaded shrimp. We've got roast turkey and tinatla chutney and lumpia. I love lumpia. And I know it's not just me. I know it's just, but I'm a lumpia snob when it comes down to it. I like lumpia that's got lots of actual meat on the inside of it, and there is something about the garlic vinegar black pepper dipping. Just saying the word vinegar gets you thirsty, doesn't it? Roast turkey barbecue short ribs and shrimp patties, roast turkey pot roast chicken Kelligwin, and roast turkey pork chop fried chicken. Try to make it through all of those combos in a week at King's. Introducing Exchanged, Guam's first online and mobile remittance to the Philippines. Exchanged is the easiest and fastest way to send money to your family and friends anywhere in the Philippines. Download the Exchanged app or visit their website, exchanged.me. Sign up, remit, and get a chance to win a trip for 2 to Manila. Deluxe accommodations at the Belmont Hotel at Resorts World Manila. So sign up and remit now at Exchange. Promo ends March 2nd, 2019. Conditions apply. Also avail of Exchange dollar to remit promo. Visit exchange.me for details. Studio time is 7:17 in the morning. The Wednesday version of the Ray Gibson Show brought to you by who? Let me see. First Hawaiian Bank, where it all starts with, yes, I need more money for the holidays. Is it too late to go in and get something? American President Lines, they're shipping the future American Water Tech, smarter water, better water. Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for all of your open heart surgical needs. Oh, did I not do MRE? Oh, Micronesia Renewable Energy. Never been a better time to go solar.
For more than 40 years, we've earned your trust, caring for our island's health, quality care and access to health solutions you deserve. Take care, our island, your health plan. Take care, health solutions that you deserve. Take care, peace of mind to comfort you. Take care, take care, take care.
Cold Stone Creamery is the ultimate ice cream experience. Been that way for about the last 30 years, and they've got an incredible lineup of incredible flavors to try for the holidays. If you've got a big Christmas party, big office party that you've got, they say, what are you going to bring? And you said, I know, I'll bring dessert. And then you go, I don't know how to make a dessert. You don't need to know anything about it. Just get a hold of ColdStoneCreamery.com on the World Wide Web. Ask them about the dark chocolate peppermint ice cream with premium Ghirardelli peppermint pieces, or the new milk and cookies ice cream that they actually put Chips Ahoy chocolate chips inside. Yes. You can get these in the ice cream cake format as well at Cold Stone Creamery, the ultimate ice cream experience.
The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
7:19, and time to take a look at what happened on the markets. Is there any good news here today? Well, if you've been watching the Dow, you know that the Dow has had a rather rough week already. And but the good news is it looks like a little tiny bit of a rebound here. The Dow Jones up by 82.5 points, 23,675. Just a small incremental way to try to recover the losses in the last couple of session days. About 1,000 points off. I think that brings it to the lowest point for all of 2018. Nasdaq at 67.83. That's 30 points in the green. The S&P 500 plus just a nothing of a point, 2,546. Everybody else is in the red. I got the FTSE down, the Nikkei's down, Hang Seng, Shanghai, and the DAX are all trading low this morning. But you know what's trading low, and we love it? West Texas crude at $46.17. Now, that's where it closed. When I first started looking at it this morning, it was trading at $45.94.
Did Simon ever call you back?
No, Simon never called me. But that's okay. I still don't have the numbers of where Tapas was when it hit that low point a bunch of years ago, where the gas prices were when Tapas was at the low. But what did I say? Oil was $46.19. So that's about $10 off from its lowest point back in 2016.
West Texas was in the 60s, like about a week and a half ago.
Yeah. It's tumbling down.
But
if you go to the Daily Post, they have the Killjoys. That's what I'm referring to it as, the Killjoy story. Price of gasoline falls for fourth time. There it is, $4.12 cents, or $4.13 for a gallon of gasoline at most of the gas stations. This one here is the price at 76 Circle K. But at the end of it, because there always has to be a but, right? AAA reports that crude inventories have fallen for the second week in a row, which could lead to price increases next month.
Oh, we got to get to the editor of that newspaper.
There we go. Anyway, so there's that. I don't have a Tapas figure. The mechanism on the website where I get that seems to be down, but we'll assume that the Tapas is falling roughly at the same rate.
Hang on a second, I got it.
You think you got a Tapas number?
Yeah, 42.
No.
42.
There's no way Tapas is at 42. Tapas yesterday was at 60.
42. I'm just telling the oil company guys on the island it's 42. You can lower the prices as much as you want.
If we were going to do that, it's back down to miraculously, it's $10 a barrel.
32.
We're talking about the same kind of prices that we used to pay in 1971.
You can always trust a former disc jockey.
That's right. That's right. And there's a couple of them in the room here today. Jerry Robertson, another live version of the Extra Point, and a piece of. I don't know what you're going to be talking about today. I don't know what we're riffing on today.
That makes two of us.
Right, that's good. But there's something that came across my desk in a story. More than half of us did not get a pay raise this year. Now, a bunch of us in management positions here and executive levels, and in some cases, we're usually the last ones to get some kind of a kick into compensation.
Sometimes.
You start watching what's happening with your employees and make them happy.
Yep.
More than half of us, according to the story, did not get a pay raise this year. The economy saw new peaks in 2018. Not all Americans report reaping the benefits. The majority of workers say they saw no salary increases this year. More than 60% said they didn't get a pay raise at their current job or get a better paying job in the last 12 months. This from Bankrate.com on the World Wide Web. And that might be because you work at a company that maybe didn't see those economic peaks come out in 2018. Also possible you didn't ask. You didn't ask right. Or you didn't ask right. Yeah. So go to GuamTraining.com on the World Wide Web and start scrolling through hundreds of Extra Point scripts to find out where it is that you might have screwed up.
It's probably somewhere around the middle. We had a couple of Extra Points on that issue of pay raises. So if you're going to scroll down, I'd say start somewhere around 100 and then work your way back up because there's something in there. There's two of them. Pretty close together, they talked about pay raises and how to get them.
Yeah, I think it might be vital. It might be that your company is experiencing a surge, and unless you're one of the guys that stands up and say, "Look, I really love working here, and this is a great place, and I noticed that we're a lot busier these days. Maybe that could mean a little bit of extra for me, and this is what I'm prepared to do to justify that. This is what I'm prepared to do to make sure that I'm accountable to these new dollars, and I'm accountable to the company."
Always think of the individual that you are talking with and trying to convince, and make your case in terms of the benefits for that individual. and the company.
Yeah, don't just go in and say, I want to
I
raise.
want more money. Yeah. If you go in that way to where the company is going to benefit by something you're going to do, then you have a much better chance.
Yeah.
And don't wait till, like, for example, don't wait until you're doing your evaluations, your annual eval. Okay, don't wait for then. You want to start way, way, way in advance of that. So plan for a pay raise. Don't just go and ask for one.
And after you've planned, remember, courage is always rewarded. The answer is always going to be no if you don't ask.
That's right.
7:24 in the morning, and now time for today's live extra point.
What are your big plans for 2019? Is there a big goal you're going after? Maybe you're not sure. Maybe something said in the next couple of minutes will get you thinking of the possibilities. That's today on the Extra Point. Today, right now, I'd like you to think of something you'd really like to accomplish in the upcoming year. I'm not talking about a small thing. I want you to think about a big goal, a really big goal. I had a friend once who called this a BHG, a big, hairy goal. Big, hairy goal. This is the kind of goal that's so big it kind of scares you, makes you feel like you need to catch your breath. It's a goal so big that when you look at it, it looks back at you and shakes its head and says, nope, you can't have this. I'm too big and too hairy for you. Now you go back and play with your small goals and don't even think about messing with me. You get the picture here? What kind of goal would it be that would take your breath away? Many years ago, when I began thinking about this kind of thing, I came across a story of a guy who was doing pretty well working for a financial services company, but bored out of his skull, reading profit and loss statements, etc. He dreamed of traveling the world. While at a conference, he was introduced to a man who would change his life. This man spoke several languages fluently and was contracted by the U.S. federal government to accompany diplomats on their trips to foreign lands. Our friend was in awe of this gentleman because he was doing exactly what he wanted to do. So he asked a million questions. He had done reasonably well in school and with languages, high school and college, but he wasn't fluent in anything. So he asked, how good do you really have to be to do this kind of job? The answer was that he had to speak and understand the language like a native. That good. He decided he wanted to live the kind of life this interpreter had. So he set out to become fluent in Mandarin, a very hard language to learn. It took him 3 years of constant study and practice to reach a degree of fluency. He made several trips to China to practice in business situations, and slowly people began to learn of his talents, where he married up his financial knowledge and the ability to interpret the Mandarin language. He was hired by a friend to travel with his CEO to Shanghai for a series of high-level meetings. It all went so well that he was contracted to be the man's permanent interpreter, which allowed him to quit his finance job. Other work followed, and his life changed from sitting behind a desk and a computer monitor to traveling first class with major business executives. He achieved his big, hairy goal. Is that too big, too hairy for you? If so, can you think of something a teensy bit smaller with a little less hair on it? What would that be? Forget about age or finances or what you think will block you from what you dream about. Pick up a pen and write about what you want. Then break your goals down into small, doable chunks like we discussed a couple of days ago. Is it about your career, your health, your family? Whatever it is, you'll be amazed at what you can accomplish once you are truly focused and have a good plan to achieve a goal that's outside of your comfort zone, a bit big and a bit hairy. That's the extra point. Get out there and make something good happen today. In fact, make something big and hairy happen today. For 93.3 and the Ray Gibson Show, I'm Jerry Roberts.
I appreciate that. 728 and some great advice. 2019 right around the corner, but you don't have to come up with something today.
Not today, but start writing down. What would be a big goal? People think of small goals. Well, I just want to accomplish this much or this much. You mentioned a guy a few minutes ago, Richard Branson.
Yeah.
There's not enough time to tell you about a couple of Branson stories, but Branson is a guy that always thought, never mind thinking outside the box. He kicked the box away. There was no box. Branson's always been outside of it. And that's how he turned himself from virtually, I don't know where he started from, but he became a multi-billionaire because he was totally unconventional and went for the huge goals. Hasn't always got there.
Carl
but he went through
Peterson.
huge things.
Carl Peterson's another guy. He decided one day that he wanted to be the worldwide president of the JCs.
Yep,
and,
exactly.
and figured out what steps were required to get there, and eventually became it.
He became it.
He was the guy that did that. And there's others, any number of other people here on Guam that have held national titles, international titles. It just begins with deciding that what it is and figuring out what the steps are to get there. And as you pointed out, completion backwards the way to do that.
Yeah.
I need how many votes from how many people from how many countries?
Okay, take a look at we see people in our midst. Mike San Nicholas, okay, took on Madeline Berdelio in the election.
It seems to be taking people on over at the legislature last night.
Well, yeah. Well, but the idea is that on an interview, it began with a dream. It began with just an idea, and then it manifested itself into him being in D.C. So there are people that just think of something and say, "Why not?
Yeah,
why not? I'll just go for it."
Why not, indeed? So spend a little bit of time thinking about that while you're stuck at the traffic light. Put the phone down. Don't bother looking for messages. You can catch up on those at the office. Concentrate. Think a little bit about what big hairy goal?
Big hairy goal.
Our big hairy goal is to get to headlines. That's next. Jerry Roberts, thanks for the extra point. For details on that, go to GuamTraining.com.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
Hungry? Stop by Circle K for Kraft Kitchen's hot breakfast, lunch, and dinner items delivered fresh 3 times a day. Circle K. Take it easy.
Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Buy one, get one free. Stop by Circle K today and satisfy your heart's desires. Available at all Circle K stores, excluding Barragata, Airport, and Campers locations. Applies only to the 3.38-ounce servings.
In the morning, going to get some details, additional details. Folks on the lookout for Gabriela Rodriguez. Gabriela Rodriguez missing since 6 o'clock last night, 5'7". She's got brown eyes, and that's all I know about her. Don't know where she was last seen, what she was wearing at the time. But Gabriela Rodriguez, if you're within the sound of my voice this morning, your folks are looking for you. We've got information about that. If you know anything about it, contact GPD or Roy or Kelly. We've got telephone numbers. We'll share with you in a few minutes, as well as images of Gabriela Rodriguez that we can put on Facebook Live here in just a few moments. Right now, 7:32, and time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. In the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning, the Attorney General moving to dismiss a 13-year-old permanent injunction against the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center over past shortcomings in the government's mental health services. The plaintiffs have not yet opposed the motion to vacate the injunction and dismiss the case. Behavioral Health Director Ray Vega telling the Post that the department has worked very hard over the last 8 years to correct issues related to the care provided to mental health patients. The department recently built a day clinic for drug rehabilitation and established a team led by a newly hired staff psychiatrist with forensic and addiction treatment experience. In its motion to dismiss the injunction, the AG cited the substantial change in circumstances and the hard work of management and staff, saying the injunction is no longer necessary. For the 4th time in the past month, the price of gasoline on island has dropped by 10 cents a gallon. Mobil, Shell, 76, all lowering the cost for a gallon of regular unleaded yesterday to $4.13 a gallon. Prices have fallen 40 cents a gallon since November 14th. The 4 successive declines in the price of fuel at the end of this year follow 6 consecutive fuel price increases at the start of 2018. On January 1st of this year, the price for a gallon of regular unleaded on Guam stood at $3.88. Fuel prices have been falling across the nation in recent weeks because of declining demand amidst a surge in supply, but crude inventories have fallen for the past 2 weeks, and according to AAA, that could mean price increases next month. A send-off ceremony will be held later today at the Guam Guard Readiness Center in Barrigada for 34 members of the Guam Air National Guard who are being deployed to various locations in Southwest Asia. In a release, Guam Guard Major General Roderick Leon Guerrero says, keep those airmen in your thoughts and prayers as they prepare to deploy and for the duration of their deployment. The airmen are scheduled to leave next month and will be deployed for about 6 months in Southwest Asia. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
All right, thanks, Kevin. 7:35 in the morning, and I do have an image of the young lady that is missing this morning. Her name, Gabriela Rodriguez. Family and friends are on the lookout for her right now. If you see her, contact police or just let her know that she needs to check in or see if there are other details that I can get you about where she was last seen, what she was wearing, and all of those kinds of things if you want to help out. iConnect giving away instant prizes for each new 12-month plan through December 31st. You'll also be entered to win a vacation for 2 to Manila or incredible weekly prizes when you connect and win with iConnect. Go to iConnectGuam.com for details.
KFC has finally answered the world's most important question. What came first, the chicken or the egg? And the answer is both. Introducing KFC's KFC AM, their new Southern and local-inspired breakfast. AM-loaded platter with chicken fried rice, waffles, and Colonel's chicken congee. KFC also has your all-time favorites, AM chicken and egg wraps, Southern biscuit and sausage sandwich, and hash browns. So for finger-licking good mornings, AM will never be the same at KFC. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Is there traffic right now? Yeah, it looks like there is. The worst part of it is, as usual, around this time of day, near the airport and an intersection in particular, as you're trying to make it from one side of the Guam International Airport through the intersection that takes you to Home Depot and then Marine Corps Drive. Always busy's up around this time of the morning and slower now. Northbound traffic, Marine Corps Drive. Sorry, no, that's southbound. Right about in front of Kmart, DPW area. You're going to watch traffic slow down there. Also slow coming out of intersection of Route 1 and Route 3 onto Marine Corps Drive, and then it's all right until, like I said, you get to about where we are here. That area between Payless and the new flea market, traffic in both directions beginning to build. Also southbound traffic, Marine Corps Drive in Dededo, and even on Waisengsong, where traffic is trying to move from the northern parts a little bit closer to Marine Corps Drive. Nothing in front of Anderson, nothing in front of Big Navy, and nothing in front of Naval Hospital. Although traffic in and out of the downtown Agutnia area might start to get busy on Route 4 from about the Agutnia Shopping Center to the Kipuha intersection. But it's not slowing down, just a lot of cars out there. 7:37, that's right now traffic here on The Point.
Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Ruby Tuesday. Buy a $25 or $50 gift card for those on your shopping list. Get a $15 bonus coupon with every $50 card purchase. Some extra holiday happiness from Ruby Tuesday. Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam. Get a free medium pizza with every $25 gift card purchase and a free extra large pizza with every $50 gift card purchase. Some extra holiday happiness from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam.
In the morning, and again, folks out on the lookout for Gabrielle Rodriguez, missing since last night, about 6, last seen at home, and home is a residence behind the former Harley-Davidson location down PD Way here. According to her mother, she was wearing a cream sweater, cable knit gray sweats, cream sweater and cable knit gray sweats. Is the top and the bottom that she had on when she was last seen, again, about 6 o'clock last night. You're asked to call Guam Police Department if you have any information. There's Roy or Kelly who are standing by at 483-9351 is the telephone number if you want to make contact with the family. Again, it's Gabrielle Rodriguez that folks are looking for right about now. 7:38 in the morning, 888-8255. That's 888-TALK. We'll do what we can to help out and pass the pictures that we have, and this is just one of them. There are there are others that we've got available to us, including one with her motorcycle riding sisters, apparently, that I'll try to get up on the screen before too much longer. It's 7:38 in the morning. 888-8255 again is the telephone number here at the radio station. Items on the table of contents, and a couple of interesting ones that'll be fun to play around with. Is number one, Euclid Moylan is 100 years old today. That's Maka's grandmother, Kaleo's mom, I believe, who is celebrating 100 years today. And my goodness, what a big deal. No, I guess that would be Kaleo's grandmother. There we go. Yeah, Euclid celebrating 100 years today. How about that? There's the space sport, which is still a big deal in the news and in the headlines. So we're spending a little bit of time talking about that, and obviously people having a good time with the concept that Guam could be the Pacific base for the Virgin Orbital business, and on a 747 that has been stripped of everything on the inside. No flight attendants, no galleys, none of that stuff. Just enough. Weight for the engines to be able to carry these rockets up to a point high in the sky where they'd get released and then fly like a bird into space and do whatever it is that we've got satellites doing these days. And arguably, if you don't have to worry about a whole bunch of extra pounds on the bottom and a lot of extra fuel, then that makes it easier for these guys to get them up into space in a rather efficient fashion. Very, very cool. Are there going to be incredible jobs that come along with this? Is it actually going to happen? I don't know. Bob Kelly gives it about a 50-50 chance that maybe it could be something that is on our horizon. It doesn't sound like there needs to be a whole lot done. All you need is someplace for a 747 to land and take off from, and it looks to me like the actual freight, the payload that these things are carrying, looks to me like they would probably fit in a 40-foot container. You can get an APL be able to bring this thing in. You want to talk about shipping the future, right? Very, very interesting stuff. Now, on the subject of travel, I'd mentioned this earlier. There are different ways that you might be able to celebrate the New Year's. I know it's not even Christmas, but it is all right to start talking about New Year's. They've got a way that you can fly that will let your passenger experience New Year's twice, and the first of a couple of them is a United flight that will leave here, Flight UA 200. How many of you have been on 200 in the last year? Scheduled to depart Guam International Airport at 7:50 in the morning on the 1st of January. It will arrive in Honolulu at 6:55 on New Year's Eve. You can party twice. You can party twice. Did you hear this? It leaves at 7:50 in the morning. So you party all night long and take Korea Taxi and have them drop you off at the airport in time to catch some snooze or maybe hit the United Lounge. And then at 7:50, it'll take off and go to Hawaii and will arrive at about 7 o'clock at night. Now, depending on how lucky you are with customs and quarantine getting into the Honolulu International Airport, that ought to be able to get you into Waikiki at about, what, 8 o'clock, 8:30 at the latest? And you do it the way I've done it in the past. You get in a hotel room, you throw your bags in there, put a little bit of extra underarm deodorant, and then go out and start celebrating the fact that A, you are in Hawaii, and B, it's New Year's. You ever done New Year's in Honolulu? That's crazy fun. Now there are a couple of caveats. The guy was going over the prices. There are still seats available on the flight, currently priced at $1,139 in economy and $1,765 in business class. And you're going, wow, where did he get those prices? They're one-way tickets. You want to come back, might cost you a little bit of extra. There's another one, Air Tahiti Nui, Flight 102 will go from Auckland to Papeete. Scheduled to leaves on January 1st and in Auckland, and will arrive in Papeete Airport at 10:40 p.m. on December 31st of 2018. There's ways that you can enjoy the New Year's countdown twice, and he's also got I think he's got one where you can avoid flying around on New Year's completely if you want to. The website is knaviation.com on the World Wide Web, and it occurs to me that you might be able to do some of these things at Christmas time as well. Gas prices are down, as we've talked about a couple of times this morning, and Kevin Kerrigan reporting that the price of gas now $4, and we rounded up to $4.13 for a gallon of gas, down 4 times in recent weeks. And there are a lot of people, I think, rightfully excited about that. But it's still not great. And by great, what I mean to say is we need to be able to, there needs to be a filter. We need to be able to put some kind of a filter on Facebook and WhatsApp and Instagram and Snapchat and all of those things, because as the prices of gas are falling here on Guam, they're falling all the way across the nation. And the same way that we annoy our family and friends by sending them pictures in December and the wintertime of our white, beautiful, sandy beaches, they're torturing us by sending us images of their pump prices in the States. Somebody out in Texas, friend of mine out in Texas, sent me a picture of the price of gas in Texas, under $2 a gallon. Under $2 a gallon. Most everywhere across the country, was it $2.30? Something ridiculous like that. Yeah. You enjoy your low-priced gasoline out there. That's okay. You enjoy your low-priced gasoline out in the United States of America, but we will enjoy the fact that as cold as it's going to get on Guam, even as cold as here, probably not going to dip any lower than about 72, 71 degrees here in the very near term. It's 7:44. There was a story in the last couple of days that I was looking at that I was a little bit distressed at, and because it's not like they've got all of the money in the world. It was a story about the price of the electric bills in the Department of Education. Where did I put that? It was a story and I thought, why is that so high? Do they not have access to being able to put some I don't know, solar panels up on the roof? I thought I'd ask Jeff Voakola. Jeff, Disclosure, Micronesia Renewable Energy, obviously big sponsors of the program, but also, among the first people that I'd call if I had questions about how much money the government and the Department of Energy of Education might be able to save if they were to deploy strategically some solar panels. Good morning, Jeff.
Hey, Ray, how are you, sir?
I'm good. Merry Christmas to you.
Same to you. Same to you.
Where did I find you this morning? It seems to me that, whenever we're calling somebody, I got 50-50 odds that they're either on Guam or out in the state somewhere. So where'd we find you?
You actually called me in Arizona, and I'm on my way to New Jersey to see my mother.
And when you get to your destination, have they told you what the price of gasoline is going to be when you get to there?
No, but it has gone down significantly, and, it's a very volatile commodity, which we all know, so we're expecting it to go up here shortly.
Well, the guys over at the Daily Post are saying that all of a sudden the stock of oil is beginning to go down, and that given with a little bit of holiday demand could actually inch up the price of West Texas crude and the gas prices as well. So we'll watch and see what happens. Jessica Scott, what is traveling like right now? I mean, here it is, December the 19th. We're pretty close to Christmas. Are you cheek and jowl with the other travelers right now?
Yeah, and it's kind of funny because this year it's really not that busy.
Huh.
I mean, compared to, some other times during the holidays that I went back, it just, it's just not that busy. I'm just shocked.
Are you managing to sail through all of the baggage points and the TSA gates and all of that?
Yeah, it's not that crowded at the airports. I'm extremely surprised.
Well, I'm extremely surprised to hear about that as well. The TSA suggesting that there are going to be something on the order of about 45 million people that are going to be traveling this holiday season and expecting delays. But maybe it's just because you're Jeff Voakola and people are just making a hole for you as you go through.
Well, it's either that or it's got to be the 30 to 40 degree temperature in New Jersey where I'm heading. One or the other.
Yeah. You're heading. There's traffic. You're heading against the stream, is my guess.
That's right.
Yeah, 7:48 in the morning. Well, kisses to Mom for sure when you get home, and let them know that you've got a lot of friends here on Guam. So I was looking at the news the other day and a story about the Department of Education and what I thought was a pretty hefty monthly power bill that they've got to pay. And I thought, well, don't they have any solar panels on the roofs of these buildings?
No, they don't. And it's a shame because that's a cost that we could really help them with, our industry. And, we've been saying that for a long time. And a lot of the other government buildings, and they should have solar. They have the property. They have the roof space. and there's no reason in the world why they shouldn't have solar, and that money could go back to books and computers and everything else that they need for the kids.
Yeah, I mean, and there's a dozen ways that you can put the deal together for the Department of Education, and you might even be able to put it together so that they are selling electricity back over all of those huge cafeteria and schoolhouse roofs back to the Guam Power Authority.
Yeah, that's correct. I mean, in our industry, we've gotten pretty clever with the financing, so there's a lot of different ways to do it, and a lot of different ways to really help them out.
Have you approached them about this? Has anybody from there approached you about the possibility of taking advantage of their rooftops?
We did something, and it was quite a while back, where we tried to approach the schools and try to offset some of their energy, and it just never panned out at that time. But we're always open to helping out, the Department of Education, of course, and trying to find ways to put something like that together for sure.
Yeah, it just seems to me that rather than give the money to the oil people and not necessarily take advantage of the space, it just seems to be kind of wasteful that the only thing that we're getting out of the roof is shelter at this point.
And I can't agree with you more. And you start with efficiencies, and I know they've done some work on that aspect of it. But to really offset their power bills, and we could do it tremendously, it would be with solar energy for sure.
Yeah. Well, maybe somebody is listening over here and going, yeah, maybe it's time to renew some of those conversations. Now, is there I'm trying to think if there is a model that might exist where you could get into some kind of agreement with the Department of Education. In fact, with any building that has got a significant amount of square footage on it, and use that to create electricity that would make your meters go backwards. It wouldn't necessarily be the building's meters, but you would be able to generate the electricity into some kind of a device that backfeeds the power authority, and you would pay a little bit of rent to the buildings.
Yeah, they've done a lot of clever things like that, especially over in Europe. Germany was really at the start of solar energy, and they've done a lot of creative things, with that. For sure.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of really creative ways to accomplish that and to really offset the high bills that they're paying for sure.
It being public schools and part of the Department of Education, is it possible that there might be some federal dollars out there that might assist them in the purchase and assembly and maintenance of these solar panels?
There's always grant monies out there that people could be applying for, as we know. The CNMI has been, extremely good at getting some federal grants to offset, some of the projects that are going on right now. So they've been, pretty successful in that. But as we all know, the administration that's in government right now really cut a lot of that monies out of the Department of Energy. So we're hoping that gets refunded and some of those monies come back. But you are correct. There are some grant monies out there to be applied for sure.
All right. Well, maybe that's something Joe can work on while you're off in the States getting some family time. In 2019, right around the corner, Jeff Volcola from Micronesia Renewable Energy. What do you suppose 2019 will bring in your industry?
We're hoping that the industry really grows on Guam. What we're foreseeing right now, and believe me, we've always said this, we're not the oil experts, not by any means. Goldman's, they cut the price of oil for next year, but we're still looking at $70 to $80 a barrel for 2019. So we think that our industry is going to do extremely well. And, our cost of energy is always consistently going down. Modules are getting cheaper, inverters are getting cheaper, batteries are coming online. So we're going to be rolling out batteries in December, towards the end of December now, going into January. So that's a good thing. Efficiencies are going up, costs are going down. So it's a great time for solar energy.
I was going to say, now what about the Internet of Things and being able to interconnect, interface, as it were, your generation capabilities, your inverter technology, and have that be able to talk to somebody, say, over at the utility company?
That's going on right now. New Hampshire did a pilot program. Some of the California utilities, Texas, CPS Energy, they've done pilot programs with this where they can actually, on the distributed generation level, take back some of that energy on the batteries through the inverters at night if they wanted to. So there's a lot of pilot programs going on like that. And absolutely, it should be something that should be looked into.
Yeah. So when the utility says we're approaching our peak demand on the expensive oil side, we like to throttle down. Is there any juice out there that is available from the distributed source and start pinging all of those inverters to change the ratio of how much gets sent to the home? And if you've got extra available, go ahead and throttle up into the utility.
That's correct. And
that is so cool.
Those pilot programs are going on right now.
That is so cool. I love the technology of all of that. Hey, listen, I don't want to keep you from your next plane ride, so I'm going to let you run. I appreciate hearing from you, and maybe when you come back, we'll expand on the conversation of what solar might be able to do for the Department of Education and those incredibly high bills that they're paying.
I really appreciate it, Ray. Happy holidays to you and family and everybody there at the radio station. Take care now.
I certainly will. Safe travels, my friend. 7:55 in the morning, 888-8255. Jeff Olacola from Micronesia Renewable Energy, and a different picture of Gabrielle. Gabrielle Rodriguez, who has been found missing. I know, oxymoron there, but found missing about 6 o'clock last night, and we get word from her family that she was discovered missing from her home in the Assen area, around where the old Harley Davidson location was. And I will tell you a little bit about what she was wearing in a second. But this is another image that we have of Gabrielle Rodriguez. Again, family looking for her right now. If you have any information about her whereabouts, please contact the Guam Police Department. They will get a hold of the family and make arrangements for some kind of a reunion here. But missing since last night at 6 o'clock. Again, Gabrielle Rodriguez. We've got contact information. If you're watching on Facebook Live, we do have some contact information from folks that are very, very close to the scene. She was last seen wearing a cream sweater and a cable knit gray sweats at her home in Assen. It should be great if we could get these folks back together. 888-8255. 888-TALK is the telephone number here at the radio station. You got something you want to talk about, that's all right. And if you don't, because I get it, there are some days where you go, I am in holiday mode. I don't have to think about anything. I don't have to have an opinion on anything that is in the newspaper or on the news last night or any of that. I'm just going to sit back and let Ray fill me with some of his thoughts on some of the things that are floating around. One of the I'm almost ready to say interesting things, but I honestly haven't found anybody that seems to have any kind of interest in it at all. But there's going to be, coming in the new year, a new boss over at the Department of Interior. What's his name? Stinky Zinky is out. And so I sent a note out yesterday to a couple of people to say, is there anything I should know about this? Good, bad, or indifferent, now that the Zinke is going to be leaving the Department of Interior. And the closest thing to it is this morning in the forum of the Guam Daily Post, Interior Secretary Zinke will not be missed. It's an editorial piece put together by the guys over at the Washington Post. And if you've got, Washington Post versus Trump versus everybody in the administration, you know it's not going to be a long, loving hail and farewell to Zinke, but Ryan Zinke as the Interior Secretary. Now, the other connections that we have to was he was apparently, you might recall, he was here in September, met with Governor Eddie Jerome Baza-Calvo over at the administration office, and the picture that I am looking at in the Guam Daily Post is cropped a little bit. You might recall, though, there was a little bit of a controversy, tiny flap, about that picture because the expanded view of it had a picture of Doris Flores Brooks, who I don't recall at the time whether she was still the public auditor or whether she had turned into candidate Brooks. And there were some people that were wondering, Congressman Berdalio, Mike St. Nicholas, going, hey, how come we weren't invited? What happened there? What's going on? 7:58 and change. Louie.
Yeah, hey, Ray, just a real quick comment about one of the possible reasons for high energy costs at DOE. And I understand it's a really complex factor, but for years now, I've had grandkids tell me how in a number of their classrooms, not every single one, it's just plain cold. there have been days when they've taken sweaters to school just to be comfortable in the classroom. Well, anybody that owns a home or a business knows that a variance of just 2 or 3 degrees on the thermostat can save you a lot of money in the long run. So I offer that something not to be dismissed and to be looked into when we look at this question of why it's so expensive.
I will agree with you 1,000%. I've heard the same thing before, and you're right. There are a lot of factors. One of them may actually be the Every Child is Entitled to an Adequate Education Act, or as Bob Klitsky refers to it as the Adequate Education Act. And I think that one sets into law what the minimum ambient temperature of the classroom is supposed to be. And if you're driving air conditioners on Guam towards that minimum ambient temperature, let's call it 72 degrees, and you know, it's the Department of Education. What are the chances that they got a great deal on high SEER air conditioners, right? Expensive high SEER air conditioners, probably zero. So that's my guess. Is we're probably trying to force through highly inefficient air conditioners a low temperature. So that could be a big part of it. Hey, I got to run. I got the news coming up, but we'll talk again.
Sure thing.
All right, bud. We're KUSG, have gotten you the radio station known as 93.3 The Point. Ray Gibson here, and Fox News, and more on the other side.
A closely watched sentencing delayed. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. Former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn will have to wait at least until March to learn his fate for lying to the FBI. The judge postponing the sentence, allowing more time for Flynn to continue cooperating with federal prosecutors.
On multiple occasions, federal Judge Sullivan asked Flynn and his legal team whether he wanted to withdraw his guilty plea of lying to federal agents or challenge the circumstances surrounding the January 2017 FBI interview where he was discouraged from having a lawyer and not formally warned that false statements could be prosecuted.
Fox's Catherine Herridge at federal court in D.C. Flynn sticking to his plea and telling the judge he takes full responsibility. White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders wishing Flynn well and echoing the president, who tweeted earlier today again about the Russia probe being a witch hunt.
Russia tried to create chaos within the election, but certainly not that they actually impacted it. The only reason that the president is the president is because he was a better candidate and beat Hillary Clinton. We also know that the president never colluded with Russia.
During the first White House press briefing in weeks, Sanders also defending the president's right to express an opinion after he tweeted about the Fed, suggesting they could hurt the economy if they raise interest rates tomorrow for the 4th time this year.
He's been very clear about what his position is, while at the same time he understands that the Fed is an independent agency. That doesn't take away the president's right to state his opinion on a particular matter.
Stocks finished higher ahead of the Fed announcement, the Dow up 83 points. It was a sitcom classic.
5, 6, 7, 8, Schlemiel, Schlemazel.
Laverne and Shirley. One of the stars, Penny Marshall, has died. She went on to direct some classic films, including Big and A League of Their Own. A family spokesman confirming today that Penny Marshall died last night with complications from diabetes. She was 75. This is Fox News.
Boldly styled, meticulously refined, the 2019 ES350 features a longer, wider stance and a sleek coupe-like silhouette inherited from the flagship LS. The ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive. Visit the Lexus showroom today at Atkins Kroll during the December to Remember sales event. Drive home a 2019 ES350 for 0 down and 1.99% APR for 60 months. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details. Experience amazing.
Welcome to the annual holiday swap. Harold, you first.
Oh, it's a Subway card.
Wow.
Nice. Sharon?
I'm going to take the Subway card.
Oh, Harold, now you can choose a new gift.
I think I'll just take that Subway card right back.
I don't think you
can do that, Harold. Stuff it, Glenn. This is between me and Sharon.
A Subway card is the gotta-have-it gift. With cards from $5 up to any amount, you'll give a gift and get a gift, too. Get a free 40-ounce fountain drink with a $20 load, or get a free regular 6-inch sub with a $30 load on any Subway card. Subway, make it what you want at participating restaurants.
The clock still ticking in Congress to avoid a partial government shutdown. The deadline is Friday night Fox's Jared Halpern, live on Capitol Hill.
Well, Democratic leaders have rejected the latest proposal from Republicans, a government funding bill with more than $1 billion in border security through the Department of Homeland Security, plus $1 billion more in discretionary funds for President Trump.
The Republican offer today would not pass either chamber.
Instead, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the president should accept a bipartisan bill funding DHS. Republican leader Mitch McConnell says he's consulting with the White House on a path forward, but both McConnell and Schumer say a short-term bill that would extend government funding for a few more weeks remains a possibility. Lisa.
Well, Jared, President Trump wants $5 billion for the border wall. The White House says he's asking other agencies to find funding that could possibly be shifted to the wall. The top Democrats say that could not be done without approval from Congress. The Justice Department says bump stocks are not legal after all and will be banned as of late March under the federal law that prohibits machine guns. Bump stocks allow semi-automatic weapons to fire more rapidly.
The devices caught the attention of gun control advocates after they were used last year in a mass shooting in Las Vegas, which killed 58 people. The National Rifle Association tweeted a response, writing a quote attributed to Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas. Roughly 5 million Americans own AR-style semi-automatic weapons. The overwhelming majority of citizens who own and use such rifles do so for lawful purposes, including self-defense.
Fox's Rachel Sutherland in Washington. The Justice Department says current ATF regulations will be amended. Instead of adding a Space Force as a new branch of the U.S. military, President Trump signing an executive order today that instead creates a new unified space command. I'm Lisa Brady. This is Fox News.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Mark Beneventi of Santa Rita, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voice of our community and sharing thoughts and issues that affect us all. It all boils down to our people, our land. Protei Igumamo. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Bring joy to your world and your budget with a holiday loan from First Hawaiian Bank. At a low 4.99% APR, fixed for 1 year, it's a smart way to add ho-ho-ho without budget uh-oh. To apply for a holiday loan, visit any First Hawaiian Bank branch or FHB.com. For more information, call 1-877-640-2337. Additional restrictions apply. First Hawaiian Bank. It all starts with yes. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Half a day. This is Maria Lamson and Kayla Ramos, Vice President and Secretary of the Simon Sanchez High School Senior Class of 2019.
And we're inviting you to support our race to graduation in our annual Run with the Sharks 5K on December 22nd.
Join us at the Simon Sanchez campus for raffle prizes, shirts, and all-around Shark spirit. Go time is at 6 a.m.
Pre-registration is available at the main office and on race day. Call 489-8917 or 8172 for more information.
Thank you for all your support. From Simon Sanchez High School graduating class of 2019.
Are high power bills sending your budget into chaos? Take control with the help of Micronesia Renewable Energy. Using the highest quality panels, a solar energy system from MRE will guarantee to save you money on power. With MRE, Christmas comes early. With every solar energy system, homeowners not only get $400 for signing up, but also an entry for a chance to win $1,000 in cold, hard cash, just in time for Christmas. It pays to be an MRE customer. Conditions apply. Call 632-2613 for details. MRE, the smarter choice. At the heart of everything we do is our mission to improve the life of every child. From mungy nennies to growing teens, they'll be in trusted hands at FHP Health Center, where we offer comprehensive pediatric services to nurture and protect your child's health from day one. Begin your little one's journey to good health at FHP with seasoned pediatricians and professional staff who hold decades of combined experience. FHP Health Center, our island, your clinic.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. News time here at The Point is 8 minutes past 8 a.m. this Wednesday morning. I'm Kevin Kerrigan. Here's a look now at some of the top stories from the Guam Daily Post. The Navy is asking the Army Corps of Engineers to establish a permanent danger zone in the waters off the Finnegadjin Small Arms Range at Nictams. According to a published notice of the request, the zone juts out into the ocean about 2.3 miles from the coast. It's meant to ensure public safety. Access to waters within that zone will be restricted intermittently. The public notice states that the danger zone is needed to support plans to conduct weapons qualification training for military personnel at the Finnegadson Range. The Navy says it needs to expand training capabilities because the two existing ranges on Naval Base Guam are not enough. Both ranges on base are fully booked, says the Navy. The Army Corps is accepting comments on the Navy's proposal. Comments must be submitted by January 12th. Attorney General is moving to dismiss a 13-year-old permanent injunction against the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center over past shortcomings in the government's mental health services. The plaintiffs have not opposed the motion to vacate the injunction and dismiss the case. Behavioral Health Director Ray Vega says the department has worked very hard over the last 8 years to correct issues related to the care provided to mental health patients. The department recently built a day clinic for drug rehabilitation and established a team led by a recently hired staff psychiatrist with forensic and addiction treatment experience. In its motion to dismiss the injunction, the AG cites the substantial change in circumstances and the hard work of management and staff, saying the injunction is no longer necessary. We'll have more news after this.
Cheers to 80 years. It's our 80th anniversary and the gifts are on us. 80 gift certificates, 8 shopping sprees, 8 staycations, and 1 round-trip flyaway for 2 to Manila. So how do you enter? Calvo's Insurance personal home and auto customers are automatically entered. Non-Calvo's customers may enter by receiving a qualified quote. It's our way of saying thank you for trusting us for the past 80 years. For more details, visit calvos.com/giveaway or call 472-6816. Calvo's Insurance, serving Guam for 80 years.
Introducing Exchanged, Guam's first online and mobile remittance to the Philippines. Exchanged is the easiest and fastest way to send money to your family and friends anywhere in the Philippines. Download the Exchanged app or visit their website, exchange.me. Sign up, remit, and get a chance to win a trip for 2 to Manila. Deluxe accommodations at the Belmont Hotel at Resorts World Manila. So sign up and remit now at Exchanged. Promo ends March 2nd, 2019. Conditions apply. Also avail of Exchange dollar to remit promo. Visit exchange.me for details.
10 minutes past 8 a.m. here at The Point. Guam lawmakers spent all day yesterday and into last night taking testimony and debating legislation that would pay $5.9 million to a recycling company for the removal of old tires, junk cars, and other metallic waste from the Dededo Metallic Waste Station, a job that was completed more than a decade ago. The original 2001 licensing agreement called for a credit of $1.6 million to be paid to Koku Recycling, but the job ended up costing $7.5 million, according to receipts presented by the company. Senator Dennis Rodriguez Jr. introduced a bill that would use money from the Recycling Revolving Fund to pay the balance. However, during testimony yesterday, the Guam Attorney General's office said the bill was inorganic because the legislature cannot mandate an executive branch agency to change the terms of a contract. Assistant Attorney General Ken Orcott said Koku should have filed a claim under the Government Claims Act or a lawsuit in Superior Court. Koku's attorney, Fred Horecki, however, countered that the contract remains valid. The CLTC asked Koku to do the job, and they did, and as a result, the people of Guam got the benefit, he said. However, Acting Speaker Therese Terlahi questioned whether that contract was still valid after all these years, and she wondered why Koku waited so long to make its claim. I know it's Christmas time, said Terlahi, but I don't see why we should play Santa Claus with the people's money. Bill 350 was moved to the voting file. Session resumes at 5 o'clock this afternoon. One of the companies owned by billionaire British entrepreneur Sir Richard Branson is in talks with the Guam International Airport Authority to launch commercial satellites into space from Guam. The company is Virgin Orbit. Airport Executive Manager Chuck Atta told the Guam Daily Post the airport has been engaged in talks with representatives from Virgin Orbit since March. Virgin Orbit plans to place a small satellite in its Launcher One rocket and attach that rocket to the underside of a Boeing 747's wing. The plane would then climb to a certain altitude, launch the rocket into space where the satellite would be deployed. Atta said the airport authority hopes Virgin Orbit will establish a presence on Guam, which could mean leasing a hangar and basing their launch plane here. He declined to speculate on the financial impact and said no final agreement has been reached. Separately, the airport authority has been working with the Federal Aviation Administration to obtain a commercial spaceport license, which is required for any facility launching objects into space. Addis said he expects the spaceport application to be submitted to the FAA in about 3 months. Approval by the FAA could take another 6 months. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post. Ray and Mike now with weather.
Kevin, we'll get to weather in a second. For the last hour or so, we've been trying to help reunite Gabriela Rodriguez with her family. Kelly Rodriguez is Gabrielle's mother, and I want to put her on the air to get a little bit more information on what may have happened. Good morning. This is Ray.
Hi, Ray. This is Kelly.
Kelly, I appreciate you taking the telephone call. As a parent of a daughter, I would be beside myself and inconsolable and incapable of talking to anybody about anything. But if you would, please let us know a little bit about the circumstances surrounding her coming up missing. About 5, 6 o'clock last night?
Yeah, my husband had come home from work to pick up my 16-year-old son to go to the gym, and Gabriela was here. And she, told me she wasn't feeling well and she was probably going to go to bed early, which isn't unusual for her to go to bed early. Mm-hmm. And when he came back from the gym, he checked on her and she wasn't there. And I got home shortly after that and went up to, check her room and everything. And I couldn't find her. And, that's when, the crazy came out a little bit.
No, I'd go crazy as well. I'd tear the place apart looking. Were you able to find a cell phone or anything? Do you remember what she was wearing?
Last I know, because I wasn't here when my husband was here, he said that she had a cream sweater on and gray sweatpants. Mm-hmm. And she has her cell phone that I know of, but it has been either turned off or dead since the time I got home last night because I was trying to text her and call her, and it just goes straight to voicemail. And she was home alone for maybe an hour that we can't account for from the time my husband came and picked up my son to when he got back from the gym.
Now, the word that we have on Facebook Live, and you've got so many other friends in the gigantic motorcycle community that we're talking about. I think everybody that is familiar with rides and Harleys in particular knows the Kelly Rodriguez that I'm talking to. And in fact, Gabriela likes to ride bikes as well.
Yeah, she does. She knows how to ride. She doesn't have her permit yet because she's not of age, but she's part of HOG. She's a member of the Harley Owners Group, and she goes on all the rides with us and really is a big participant in the Ladies of Harley.
Now, it's got your phone number on it, so there's contact information on Facebook Live on this broadcast for people to be able to get a hold of you and Rob to see if we can make that connection. But it also says to call the police department, and I don't know, in most places your person has to be, they've got to have been missing for a certain minimum number of hours before they're considered officially missing. Is that different in your case for Gabrielle?
Yeah, because I waited a couple hours, and when I did contact the police and let them know, okay, this isn't like a high school stunt, I can't find her, it doesn't make sense. They were like, oh, you call as soon as you know she's gone, especially if it's out of character. There's no, waiting time period or anything like that. There's certain parameters that have to be met in order to issue an Amber Alert. And I don't know that we've met those. They didn't exactly elaborate on what those were. But we're talking about a 4.0 scholarly student that would rather read a book than go out and doesn't have a boyfriend, plays sports, and just is an all-around really good person. So this is completely out of character for her to be gone or missing or not in touch with us.
Yeah, have you been in touch with her classmates, girlfriends, things like that?
She's part of the JROTC at Guam High, and so they have the whole ROTC group, the baseball group, all the motorcycle clubs, anybody that has high school kids that attend school with my daughter. They've reached out to all of their groups, so we're trying to kind of spread that net really wide as we can.
All right. Well, we obviously wish you very, very good luck and want to help out as much as we can. So through the course of the morning, we'll go ahead and put the her images up on Facebook Live so that people can see who it is that is missing and keep an eye out for it. If they see anything, call the Guam Police Department, or is there another number that you'd like to be contacted at?
No, the cell phone number that's on there is good, and the Agate precinct is the precinct that's handling the missing person case, I guess is what you would refer to it as. And I think their number is 472-8915. I have it memorized since I've been calling about every hour.
I'll bet you have. Kelly, we obviously wish you very good luck. Our prayers are with you and the family.
Okay, thank you so much. I appreciate all the help.
Anything else that we can do for you, you know how to find me.
Okay,
very good. 888-8255-888-TALK is how you find me. In fact, we got the initial word on this that was coming through on the WhatsApp, 988-5874. Weather-wise, partly cloudy skies, isolated showers, and maybe on some thunderstorms today. East winds 15 to 20 miles an hour, blowing winds blowing around, 15 to 20. Highs 89 degrees, and overnight lows should be about 78 degrees. We'll watch the sunrise at 6:37 tomorrow morning. Sunset tonight. Mimosas at 5:57. Sounds like a date, doesn't it? That's about what it looks like right now. Let me put another image up on the screen here. This might be last hour's image, but it seems to me it doesn't really make that much difference in terms of what the radar is doing. I don't think we're going to see any surprises in the next couple of hours.
No, and actually what I'm seeing here on the radar is the proof that these winds are actually going to start kicking up for us tonight and into tomorrow, is that this rainfall that's down to our south seems to be getting further to the south. So that means that high pressure is pushing on down. But as it pushes down, that's also going to tighten the pressure gradient between it and the low pressure down to our south, which is going to give us those 20 to 25 mile per hour winds tomorrow. Check on satellite here, just some lingering moisture off to our east and south, most of it to the south, and hopefully that high pressure will push on in and just keep it down there.
Gotcha. All right. Well, coming up, Renee Logie and I are going to pretend to talk about sports right here on The Point.
Because I just signed up for a 12-month iConnect plan, I'm automatically entered into iConnect's Connect and Win giveaway. iConnect is giving away a trip for two to Manila with a stay at the new Holiday Inn Express. They'll also be giving away an Apple Watch, Apple TV, more Mabuhay miles, Fitbits, and Beyond the Box gift cards. Go to iConnectGuam.com for details or call 888-8888 to learn how you can connect and win with iConnect.
Conditions apply.
That's what I said. 8:20 in the morning. Time to look at the crazy holiday menu over at King's. And again, the crazy breakfasts catch my attention because it's breakfast time. And I never eat breakfast, but I see these. Now I'm hungry. The s'mores pancakes, adobo fried rice, and a breakfast burger. And you take anything and make a burger out of it. And they've decided this is what we're going to do. It's the King's Burger Patty, already good by itself. American cheese, bacon, hash browns, and fried eggs on top of everything. But they put it on a sweetbread French toast. Does that not sound great? Find it for breakfast at King's.
Make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from King's Restaurants. Give a gift they are sure to love. Delicious food and friendly fun at King's. Get a coupon for a free single crate with every $20 gift card purchase. Extra holiday happiness from King's Restaurants. Be merry, be bright, and make shopping all right with holiday gift cards from Chuck E. Cheese's Guam, Ruby Tuesday, and King's Restaurants. Receive special offers with every purchase for extra holiday happiness. See stores for details and have fun this season from all of us at the GFS Group.
I have fun all the time. 8:21 in the morning. The Ray Gibson Show brought to you by Security Title, when you absolutely need to know that you own the property you think you just bought. And anybody that's ever been through issues with titles knows exactly what that sinking feeling will feel like. So make sure that you can avoid it by visiting Ron and Kim over at Security Title. Also brought to you by MRE, Micronesia Renewable Energy. Never been a better time to go solar. Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for your open heart surgical needs. Of course, the guys over at American President Lines, they're shipping the future. And American Water Tech, smarter water, better water. Your turn.
It's important to have claims process that works for you. At Guahan Insurance Services, we make things simple and convenient. Same door you walk in to purchase your insurance is the same door you open to file your claim. We can't pretend that the car insurance claims process is fun, but we can promise a hassle-free and speedy recovery without any runarounds. For your home, auto, and business insurance, visit us at the Camacho Landmark Center on Marine Corps Drive in Tamuning. Don't forget to like us on Facebook or give us a call at 475-1162 or text 929-SAVE. That's 929-7283.
Chipotle sandwich. That's what they're making for you these days. A Chipotle cheese steak sandwich, a concept called flavor that goes into it. Regular cheese steak goodness, and then they put the Chipotle Southwest sauce on it. Available for a limited time at Subway Restaurant. Subway, make it what you want.
News to fill your mind. Talk to get it out. The Ray Gibson Show.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. And as you can see, I like to put her up on the camera just while she's here because it's far better looking than me and anything else that's going to be taking place in the studio. Good morning, Renee. Nice to see you there.
Good morning.
Did you get your workout in?
I did not.
You
I
did
woke
not.
up late.
Oh, did you? So no running this morning?
No running this morning.
Okay, but that's all right. You did, what, 8 miles yesterday?
Yeah.
Which is the way good. I mean, I think I might have topped out around 6 yesterday, but in bits and pieces, and I'll explain some of that here in a second. It looks like both Renee and I are going to be participating in the Guam International Marathon coming up next year.
Yep.
You've started your training, and I officially started mine last night.
Ooh.
Yeah, and with me on the line, Dave Torrey works over at Take Care's on the line. Good morning, Dave. How you doing?
Good morning, Ray. Good morning, and Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. Yeah, to you as well. Now, Dave is working with the guys over at Unified. Him and General Levin Camacho, as Attorney General Levin Camacho, are working on a United Guam International kind of training. I don't want to call it a training camp. What are you guys calling that,
It's
Dave?
a training program. Right.
Yeah, it's just a training program and group run.
Okay, and now last night was the first of them.
That's correct. That's the first one we tried put out 16 weeks before the UGM, which is on April 14th, and then we'll be meeting about 3 times each week on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, and we'll have prescribed runs for each one of those days for everyone who shows up.
Now describe the prescribed run from last night, and I think it's if you're thinking about it, and it doesn't matter whether you're running in the 5K or the 10K or the half or the full, it's a great way to get things started, regardless of where you are in your fitness. So let's talk about last night's get together first.
Sure. Last night's get together, like you mentioned, it was just the first day for, it's kind of like a meet and greet, like meet the teacher day where people come in and first day of school. And the way that we prescribe the runs, especially this early in the program, is we want everyone to have fun. And so the runs are timed instead of distance. And so we just basically tell everyone, you know what, let's start together. We'll run 15 minutes out. Wherever 15 minutes is at that point, we all turn around and come back so that we also end together. So it doesn't matter if you're, a seasoned 5K runner like yourself or, a beginner. Everyone goes out, they turn around at 15 minutes, and then they end. And then at the end of the run, we sit down and we do a little debrief, and then we also talk about what to expect in the upcoming workouts.
So if you missed last night, and this might be the first time that you're hearing about it, if you missed last night and thought, wow, I missed it, can I just show up on Thursday and catch up with the group? The answer is yes, right?
Absolutely. This is open to the public. It's free of charge, and depending upon where you are, because I know life happens, right? Especially during the holiday season, people are busy trying to get the last minute Christmas shopping in, taking the kids, picking them up from work, especially right around, picking them up from school, especially right around the 5:30 hour. They can pop in anytime and jump right in with our workouts.
All right, and that includes Renee, because she's got her own. But I don't know, your schedule's weird because you got that F&B thing. You work
I'm all over the place.
but you've got the Saturday runs. You can participate in weekend runs.
Yeah, most of the time, yeah.
Okay,
Unless I'm opening.
so what is your now you're going for the marathon, right?
Yes.
Full marathon.
Yeah.
What is your goal time?
Sub 4.
Sub 4. Okay, same thing for me. 26 miles, sub 4. That's what I'm shooting for. And if I can't make it, then I'm going to do 13 miles, sub 4 as well.
You made me say it out loud. That makes it real.
Well, no, it does. And it does. I mean, that's one of the questions that they ask you when you sign up. You know, what's your goal?
Yeah.
What's your goal race? So now, Dave, you know what our goal is going to be in the marathon. Sub 4. And I told you last night I'd like to make it so that I'm not dying, I'm not bonking when I get to about 16 or 17 miles. Can you help me with my training program so that I might be able to meet those goals, so that Renee might be able to get to her sub 4 pace?
Absolutely. You know, with running, you know, when you have a time goal, you know, there's a lot of questions that go into, all right, how are we going to approach that? You know, we're going to have to put out a strategy, because in order to do a sub 4 marathon, you're going to have to run at least a 9-minute mile.
That's right.
For 26 miles, right?
Yes.
And so, you know, a lot of questions need to come up. What's your fastest 5K? What's your fastest half? You know, how many miles per week are you currently putting in? So all these variables need to be put into play, and then we can put together a nice structured workout that would get you to that goal, or as close to that goal as possible.
Now, if as you pointed out, it's absolutely free. There are not too many requirements, although if you want to stay up on top of everything that the group is going to be doing, everything is on Strava, right?
That's correct. So we're using the free GPS app called Strava, and we post up, you know, all the information. That's where Communication Central is going to be. And so we'll put in runs there and meeting times and places, and, you know, everything's going to be used with the Strava app.
Yeah, and the cool thing about it is that there's a lot of social features. So if you got questions, you put them out there, and other people in the group might be able to help you answer those questions: diet, exercise, shoes, and that kind of thing. Nutrition on the course.
Yeah, absolutely. And we call Strava Facebook for athletes. Right?
Yeah.
So if someone posts a run, like, for example, I saw your 6 miles, your accumulation of 6 miles yesterday, so I gave you a thumbs up, and we can do the same, just to encourage others, you know, to continue to do it and to monitor their progress. I mean, as a coach, what I use Strava for is I take a look, and if you have, you know, a GPS watch or a heart rate monitor or whatever, you know, I can take a look and see what your intensity is during that particular run, and whether you're running at the prescribed pace that, you know, we discussed during the Endurance Club.
Yeah, well, there's a whole lot that goes into it, and that's about all the time that we've got. Dave, find Dave or find Levin, or just show up at Unified, which is behind the ITC building. There's 2 gyms back there. Unified is the first one, and just be there about 5:20 tomorrow afternoon, and with your running shoes, and let's go.
That's right.
Gotcha. All right, buddy. I'll talk to you pretty soon.
All right, Ray, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes, you will. It's Dave Torrey, 8:29 or so, and a little bit more coming up, but I wanted to make sure that we had a little bit of time with Renee here, because I've got the last of the sports quiz. So it's time for Sports with Renee. Got to go fast. Kevin Kerrigan's lined up his last of the headlines. Now, I do want to point out that speaking of social media, the blah 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 sports with Renee Logie, that particular story has garnered 207 views here on Facebook Live. You are absolutely racking them up. Yeah, I get a lot of likes here, Valentine's likes on it, and it trust me, it ain't people looking at me. There's a lot of people going, "Hey, what's that pretty girl with the Ray and so there are a lot of people coming through. And so thanks very much for that. We'll put Renee back on the screen here and just quickly go over a little bit of what was yesterday. So yesterday we got football, right?
Yeah.
How did that end up?
That was an interesting game. Panthers came to play. Let's see, they came back for a 2-point.
Did they win?
No, it was final score was 12. Final score 12-9. So
but
Saints,
it was respectable.
Saints still held them down, but it was a good game. There was a lot of good plays. They went Saints trying to do a 2-point conversion, picked up by Panthers. They ran it back for 2 points.
Crazy. Crazy. Now, is that what you expected, Mike?
That's about right. Although I really thought the Saints would put a little more something on them. But,
yeah.
So
I mean, all of my trash talking about Cam Newton yesterday, he was actually there at the game.
Well,
he
he's still struggling to
yeah, and
to
the
make some
fact of the matter is that, you know, teams match up differently. Okay, so, you know, for instance, Dallas just got shut out by Indianapolis, who is not really a very good team, but it just so happens that they matched up well with Dallas in that game, so much so that they shut them out. Conversely, Indianapolis has already lost 7 games this year, and some of them, they've gotten their butts kicked pretty good, so it just depends on the matchup. And in this case, whatever the coaches were talking to the Panthers about, they had a good game plan against the Saints, which you must have just to keep it close. And it worked for them, but it just wasn't quite enough to get past whatever the Saints had.
Yeah. All right. Well, not much by way of football. Today's kind of a break between the 15th week and week number 16, and that will begin with what will be for us a Friday night game. And I don't even know who's playing on that one. Do you have any idea on what the lineup is for the Friday game?
Actually, that's not happening this week. We'll have Saturday. We'll have Saturday games, and that's going to be Washington and Tennessee, and Baltimore at the L.A. Chargers.
Okay.
So we can cover more about that.
Yeah, we'll cover more in the next couple of days. Do I have time to take care of the last of the sports quizzes here, Renee?
I have time.
You have time.
Yeah.
Kevin, do I have time?
You have time.
No, Kevin, no, you don't. Get rid of me first, and then you want to take care of headlines first? Kevin Kerrigan is going to be coming up with headlines first, and then we'll do the sports quiz with Renee after that.
Holiday Tritons, this is Chelsea Ting, Communications Officer with Bank of Guam and proud alumna of the University of Guam, class of 2015. I made some of the best memories during my time as a Triton, but I also remember that it wasn't easy to pay for everything that I needed to graduate on time. I have committed to giving back through the G is for Giving campaign, which will help student scholarships, programs, and activities, and I encourage you to do the same. To make a tax-deductible donation, log on to supportuog.org by December 31st or call 735-2975 for more information.
Viva UOG!
8:33 in the morning. We'll take another look at traffic in a little bit, but Kevin is going to be adding to traffic in a second. He's going to jump into it just after he's done with this last of our newscast this morning at 8:30. Is Kevin Kerrigan from the Guam Daily Post.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Guam Daily Post this morning: the Attorney General moving to dismiss a 13-year-old permanent injunction against the Guam Behavioral Health and Wellness Center over past shortcomings in the government's mental health services. The plaintiffs have not yet opposed the motion to vacate the injunction and dismiss the case. Behavioral Health Director Ray Vega said the department has worked very hard over the last 8 years to correct issues related to the care provided to mental health patients. The department recently built a day clinic for drug rehabilitation and established a team led by a staff psychiatrist with forensic and addiction treatment experience. In its motion to dismiss the injunction, the AG cited the substantial change in circumstances and the hard work of the management and staff, saying the injunction is no longer necessary. For the fourth time in the past month, the price of gasoline on Guam has dropped 10 cents a gallon. Mobil, Shell, and 76 yesterday, all lowering the cost for a gallon of regular unleaded to $4.13. Prices have fallen by 40 cents a gallon since November 14th. On January 1st, the price of a gallon of regular on Guam stood at $3.88. Fuel prices have been falling across the nation in recent weeks because of declining demand amid a surge in supply. Send-off ceremony will be held later today at the Guam Guard Readiness Center in Barrigada for 34 members of the Guam Air National Guard who are being deployed to various locations in Southwest Asia. In a release, Guam Guard Major General Roderick Leon Guerrero says, "Keep those airmen in your thoughts and prayers as they prepare to deploy." The airmen scheduled to leave next month. They'll be deployed for about 6 months. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
iConnect time is 8:35. Kevin, swing by the nearest iConnect or call them up at 888-8888. Get details on the Connect and Win contest. You sign up for an annual plan on your mobile, internet, or push to talk. And guess what? You're eligible for a trip to Manila with accommodations at the Holiday Inn Express.
One of the longest-running primary care clinics on Guam, the FHP Health Center, has been your convenient one-stop healthcare clinic for you and your family for many generations. FHP's highly trained and well-known medical, dental, and vision providers and their friendly clinical support team are here, ready to take care of you. In addition to the excellent care, FHP offers a full-service pharmacy, laboratory, radiology, and specialty care center in one location. FHP Health Center, our island, your clinic. Most insurance accepted, including Netcare, Aetna, and TRICARE.
Is there traffic now? Let me see. Yeah, in front of Barrigada Heights, the 8, 10, and 16 intersection, inbound traffic on Route 8 towards that intersection, going slower than normal. Also seeing a little bit of slow traffic in front of the Guam International Airport, but only there's this weird spot, when you come out of the airport and you got to make that turn at where the airport is, and then everybody is stuck waiting for the light to turn green, so the rest of Tianjin can empty out. It's slowing down through there. We're watching traffic beginning to be built up in a few other locations on Marine Corps Drive and some of the streets that bring you into Marine Corps Drive. Route 16, that whole roadway from around Cost You Less towards the intersection where the McDonald's is, that looks like it's a little bit thick right now. So watch out for that. 8:37 in the morning. That's right now traffic here in The Point.
Chili's 3 for Me menu just got bigger. We're giving you more choices for the same great price. For just $15, you can get a beverage, salad, and an entree. First, choose from a refreshing Coca-Cola, iced tea, or Heineken on draft. Then enjoy a house salad and select your choice of a mouth-watering entree, like our half-rack ribs, Cajun chicken pasta, old-timer burger, personal chicken fajitas, or the flavorful margarita flatbread. So hurry in today and enjoy our Chili's 3 for Me menu for just $15. Available for a limited time. Chili's, more life happens here.
It's 6:37. Phil Leddy from AK is going to be in here in a few minutes. Talk about the incredible ride that I was treated to on Friday. A lot of people on Facebook saw me with Mike from over at AK Lexus handing me the keys to a brand new 2019 ES350, and so many people congratulated me, and I didn't have the heart to say on Facebook that it was just like a test drive. It's just just want because they're buying advertising, and I want to be able to talk about it. So they said, hey, let's put you in the car and see what the weekend feels like, and the weekend felt good in that car, I got to tell you.
Yeah.
That's a nice luxury ride. We'll talk about that here in a second. And since it's just you and I now, and I do have a little bit of extra time, I finally got the results of the 8th annual Pig Hunting Derby.
Yes!
Now, you hunt, right? You're from that part of the country where there might be, like, somebody, here's a rifle, go shoot something.
Yeah.
We talked about that.
Yeah.
You think you could do it?
Maybe not.
They have there's gonna be a hunters program. There's gonna be a hunters education program, and I'm totally gonna sign up for it because that means I get to go out and shoot guns.
Yeah.
I might not get
I'm
anything.
not opposed to it. I don't know if.
What?
It's not really me.
What you can spot for me. Spot for me then. That's what you do is you say, Ray, it's over there. The pig is there, and just shoot it, and then we'll have dinner. Right?
Yeah.
We could do something like that. Anyway, so here we go. Are you ready for this?
Yes.
Do we have any pig score theme music that I can play? Didn't know I was going there, did you, producer? Sorry about that. In third place in the archery division, and this is based on the most pigs, Felix Kwan bagged 4. Peter Duenas bagged 6. And I wonder if this is Chef Peter.
That's what I'm thinking.
From over at Mesclados. Might be, because he's a bow hunter, I believe. So 6 pigs for Peter Duenas. Cameron Tatautau nailed 8 pigs. Again, this is in the archery side. The numbers will go up dramatically as we go into the firearms because, you got guns and put them down fast. You don't have to chase them as much. Cameron Montaronia bagged 8 pigs. Edward Tatautau and 11, and Sean Martinez put down 13 pigs.
Wow.
Over the weekend, so not bad. Total is 78 pigs were collected from there in a variety of different places: Mingilao, Jigo, and Telefofo. Now there's kind of a side contest going on the largest pig, and that one goes to Peter Duenas again, who got a pig came in at 185 pounds.
Wow.
That's more than me, and it's way more than you. Yeah. So imagine something that big that they'd have to dispatch and carry out. Now, are you ready for the sports quiz?
Yes.
Wait, hold on.
What?
180 pounds?
No, 185 pound pig.
That's a lot of bacon.
That is a lot of bacon.
I just want to soak in that thought for just a moment.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're going to be able to get Jane Dia on the line at some point to talk about because it's going to be a few weeks before they get around to the Pig in the Park contest, which is the second side of it. Is they're going to take pigs and give them to cooks.
Yes, for us, we can go there. We can have it,
and we can eat fresh, came out of the boondocks pigs and ribs and loins and bacon. I imagine there's all whatever it is that we're not throwing away. Maybe even sausages if they've got time to put that together. Season up the meat and get it going.
I bet somebody here knows a good recipe for some pork sisig.
You and I both know somebody here at the radio station that knows about that. All right, so let's line up some sports quiz questions for Renee. A little bit louder. A little bit louder now. Come on, let's feel it. Feel it now, yes. Question number 1, and by the way, this will be the easiest of the week.
Okay.
I promise it'll be the easiest of the week.
You say that before.
But I've had to dumb it down. I've found really, really easy questions. No, it's the same. It's the same people that put the questions together. But as I said, I'm looking at it and I'm going, this
Same
looks
people
like
who put the questions together.
the Know a Lot website. Question number 1 for you: which of the following sports does not involve a ball? Tennis, squash, or badminton?
Badminton.
What do we call it in badminton?
Birdie.
It's absolutely right. Just like it when girls say birdie. In which sport do you run and jump as far as possible into a sand pit? It is
a long jump.
Absolutely
or
right.
Jump, or
yes. What color is the standard tennis ball?
Like is it yellow, neon yellow? Like what's the exact color?
Yellow will work, but if you're old enough,
yes.
you'll remember when they were all white. It's optic yellow.
Okay.
Optic yellow, I think, is the correct color for that we're supposed to be talking about. Yes. Wait a second. Oh, yeah. This is important as well. We'll get to Sydney in just a second and talk about another big sporting event that you can actually do as part of Dave Torrey's running plan.
Okay.
All right. So where did I leave off? Tennis ball question. What sport involves a bat, a ball, and a wicket?
Cricket.
Very good. In which game do you knock down 10 pins with a ball?
Bowling.
See, I told you.
Oh
it's
yes,
easy.
I love this quiz now.
What are ballet, tap, and hip hop all types of?
Dancing.
It is dancing. Which sport uses? This it might be a little bit tricky for you. Which sport uses the lightest ball? Is it football, baseball, or depending on where you are in the world, some people call it ping pong. I call it ping pong. Some people call it table tennis. Lightest
Ping
ball.
pong.
What's that?
Ping pong.
Absolutely right. See, this is great. Which outdoor sport involves a club, a ball, and holes in the ground?
Golf.
2 more and you're perfect. What game? What games beginning with the letter O are held every 2 years in summer and winter?
Olympics.
Olympics. And what type of, your last question is 90% here. You can go in for 100%. What type of sport is played on horseback?
Polo.
Ding, 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 ding. Congratulatory music. 10 out of 10, ladies and gentlemen. Outstanding work here. You are now qualified to be our forever sportscaster lady. What do you think?
I think I need some work still.
So now you woke up late this morning, so there's not going to be a morning run. Will there be an afternoon run? Maybe something?
Yeah, maybe a treadmill run today, unfortunately. It's only 30 minutes, but you know.
Yeah, still hate them. Dreaded, hated
it's
treadmill.
It's better than an afternoon outside run, especially since it's bright and sunny outside.
Sweetie, you're going to need to train in the distress. That's what I've been doing. I've been running in the late after. I've been running in the afternoons because I need to get used to running in heat because it doesn't matter how fast we think we're going to go in the marathon. Some of it's going to be in the sunshine, early morning sunshine. So be ready for that. 8:44 in the morning. I got to run. I'll talk to you pretty soon. We'll take some pictures real quick and see if we can break 207 on the what do you call it? Stories Magic on Facebook. So while we do that, what? Yes, I do have time. Thanks for reminding me. Sydney's on the line, and one of the things that is going to be a part of the United Guam International Training Series that they're doing with Dave and Attorney General Levin Camacho is the 5K this weekend at Simon Sanchez, and I've got Sydney on the line here. Good morning, Sydney.
Good morning.
And it's great to have you here. Just a couple of minutes that we've got for you today, and I might be able to get you some more time tomorrow. But tell me a little bit about the 5K. How do we sign up? Big prizes, routes, etc.
So our 5K is for our seniors, class of 2019. It's to raise funds for our graduation coming up in June. The 5K is this Saturday. Show time is at 5 o'clock in the morning. Go time is at 6. Per person, it's $10. However, per student, high school through elementary, is $7. If you're a group of 4 adults, it's $35. And if you're a group of 4 students, it's $25. The route is going to start at Sanchez on campus. We're going to head down towards Hoffaday Market, go right onto Marine Drive, turn right again at Crown's Bakery, and then head back towards the school.
All right, so basically it's 3 rights, right?
Yes.
All right. So the only thing that you got to worry about is if you're going for time, you got to watch out and try to make those turns as quickly as you can. Try not to lose any speed or momentum as you do that. I know some people that are going to be using the Simon Sanchez race this weekend as time trials to get them prepped for the marathon. You didn't know that, did you?
No.
You know now. So make room in the front for people that are going to want to go real fast. What are the big prizes? You got some vendors lined up with some cool gift certificates.
Yes, we've got some raffle prizes from Dusitani, McDonald's, Outrigger, places like that.
They're all nice places. I like them all, and so everybody sounds like everybody is going to come away with something. We'll talk more about this next chance we get for an interview. All right.
All right. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I'm going to put you on hold because I want you to talk with Mike to make sure we've got your number, so we might be able to ring you up a little bit earlier tomorrow or Friday, 8:47 in the morning. And that's all the time that we've got for sports, etc. With that, I'm going to let Renee go and do whatever it is that you do for the rest of your day.
All right.
And I'm going to stay here and do whatever it is that I do for the rest of the day. Phil Letty from AK Lexus coming in just moments.
Introducing Exchanged, Guam's first online and mobile remittance to the Philippines.
Exchanged is the easiest and fastest way to send money to your family and friends anywhere in the Philippines. Download the Exchanged app or visit their website, exchange.me. Sign up, remit, and get a chance to win a trip for 2 to Manila. Deluxe accommodations at the Belmont Hotel at Resorts World Manila. So sign up and remit now at Exchanged. Promo ends March 2nd, 2019. Conditions apply. Also avail of Exchange dollar to remit promo. Visit exchange.me for details. Boldly styled, meticulously refined. The 2019 ES350 features a longer, wider stance and a sleek coupe-like silhouette inherited from the flagship LS. The ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive. Visit the Lexus showroom today at Atkins Kroll during the December to Remember sales event. Drive home a 2019 ES350 for 0 down and 1.99% APR for 60 months. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details. Experience amazing. I got to take care of something. I've got Phil Letty from AK in the studio, and I can never remember whether it's AK Lexus, AK GM, AK Toyota, any of the other things that you guys have got under your belt. So what is your overall overarch? You're just AK?
We are Atkins Kroll. But a long story short, we are the dealership with the best brands that you know and trust on island.
Yep. Well, that's a fact, including now BMW.
Absolutely.
We've got BMW under the roof. The last time I was there, I walked by a whole long line of them, and I was looking at them. I was coveting these automobiles, and I thought, wait a second, I'm going to be driving a Lexus for the next day and a half. Let me go do that one first and see what's going on. Now I thought I left pretty clear instructions. They said Phil's going to swing by the radio station. We'll talk about the 2019 ES350, and I thought that's great. And what we'll do is we'll get Nicole in the studio and see if we can get Nicole on the cameras as well. And I don't know how the instructions got jumbled because all I got is Phil. What happened to Nicole?
She got cold feet.
Is that what happened?
I'm not too sure.
But fortunately, I've got pictures of Nicole that I can put on while we're talking.
There you go.
There you go.
Pictures will suffice.
There's Nicole LG. She works over there and helps out with the marketing and things like that of all of the products that they've got available under the massive under construction. Though I noticed roof at AK. You guys got some construction going on the Marine Corps Drive side. What's that?
We got some huge things coming. Our marketing director, Mr. Ernie Galito, along with our project manager, JP Paris, they are doing some huge things. So we're moving BMW to Chevy.
Oh.
So they're completely gutting the Chevy, the previous Chevy showroom.
Yeah.
They're spicing it up for the BMW luxury line, and then Chevy is slowly integrating into the old Scion building where BMW was housed.
There's so much going on there. I mean,
Correct.
and don't forget, in addition to that, you've got incredible service bay, state of the art service bay that you've got there, and
the biggest.
And plus car washes, etc. I mean, there's all kinds of things that are happening on that compound. You're kind of spilling out over into Pickanail Road and into the Denny's parking lot pretty soon, aren't you?
Well, when our service grows, our clients grow accordingly. So we're hoping to take over and continue our footprint as the #1 dealership on Guam.
You know, I'd love to spend some time talking about BMW with specifically now the kind of service that you have over at AK, because I know that there were some people that might have been thinking about BMW in the past and were worried about aftermarket service, but now you combine BMWs with the incredible service base that you've got and some great guys. I want to say there's a couple of Lettys in the back as well that know a thing or two about the way cars work, specifically BMW cars, and maybe that will lift some of your concerns. Maybe that's a great way into the conversation. You talk about the luxury, the high-end ride that is BMW, and always great compliments to the Lexus series that's next door.
Correct. You have the two best luxury brands offered on island. So you're absolutely right. The BMW clientele in Guam isn't as large per se quantity-wise as the Lexus clientele, but they're just as deserving of the service that we offer at AK.
Yeah.
So they're very happy. They're very happy to come to either bring their BMWs or revisit the BMW brand at AK, backed by AK service, and then you get spoiled with the AK Club, which is our car wash, our loaner program, and our wonderful service attendants.
Well, and plus you've also got the idea that these guys do write paper with virtually every financial institution on Guam and know when the interest rates are super, super low. So those are some of the things that you need to think about as well. ES350, thanks very much for handing me the keys to that automobile.
Absolutely.
I love the ride. I love the ride. And the second I got in the car, it's one of these things where you pull on the Marine Corps Drive, and it felt like it was a different road.
Yeah,
it felt like it was a different road. I mean, it just the bumps and the dips and all of that stuff. I wasn't feeling any of that, and really kind of got into the luxury of the ride. And I found myself doing something that is extremely rare, and that is taking the long way home.
That's right. That's right. And Lexus, you absolutely enjoy your drive home. What the Lexus does, especially with the ES specifically, is the way I explain the ride is you're floating. You almost can't feel, like you said, the bumps on the road.
Yeah.
So you end up enjoying traffic. And if that makes any sense.
I didn't mind getting stuck.
Yeah.
I didn't mind getting stuck at all. And like I said, I knew where I know where the house is.
Yeah.
But I'm in the car. I'm thinking I really want to take advantage of some of the extra time. So I drove from there down in Anigua and Petey, and came back up. Found a hot dog over by the post office and enjoyed that. I might scare up some pictures in the next couple of days, because this is they're having this incredible December event that's going on over at AK. We'll talk about that here in a second. But it's not just the ride. It's all of the appointments. It's all of the, you can always tell, especially with the Lexus series, that really think about what it is that the driver needs. I mean, we've got, there must have been 4 or 5 little knobs and gizmos just to figure out where you want the chair.
Yeah, absolutely. And the way they refine the ES is they Lexus will always concentrate on driver comfort, driver enjoyment.
Well, driver safety too. So make sure we talk about that.
Absolutely, with our safety, Lexus Safety Sense. But just as good as you felt inside the car, Ray, you look just as good from the people looking outside the car, because the refined, redesigned, remodeled Lexus ES is sharp. Actually, it's modeled slightly after the Lexus LS, which is our flagship 6-figure vehicle that debuted in Black Panther. If you look at the front aesthetics of the LS, you see that in the ES.
Yeah. And if I've got pictures of the front that I'll share over the next couple of days. I was trying to figure out how I might be able to put some kind of a slideshow together with some of the video that I have. But also very important is not just the appointments in the car, but the fact that Lexus wants you to survive every drive. So you've got lane. What is it? You've got the collision deal.
Pre-collision.
Pre-collision. It knows if you're going to hit something.
Correct.
We'll tap the brakes for you. And what is the one where it knows whether you're in the lane or not?
That's our lane departure assist.
Lane departure. There
Beautiful thing is the Lexus will use its sensoring system to. We're busy. I'm a father of 5, so so sometimes you gotta look in the back seat and let them know to quiet down or speak up. Just that moment you take your eyes off the road, you might be veering into the next lane. The Lexus sensors will sense that, vibrate your steering wheel to gather your attention to assure that you are paying attention to the road.
And so now it's a feature you can turn off.
Absolutely.
But why would you? Why would you? Because it's the technology. It's built in there. It's there to keep you safe, and not necessarily to be an annoyance to you. It's just one of those things. It will actually, I think, train you to be a better driver.
And I just want to touch on that real quick. You made a very important point that you can turn it off. So Lexus will offer you so many different ways that you can enjoy your vehicle without forcing you to enjoy it one way.
Yeah.
So there's other brands, and I'm sorry, BMW, but there's other brands that will force the sport package, that'll force the sport drive, which is excellent because there are some drivers looking for that specifically. Lexus gives you comfort. Lexus allows you to change your driving mode to sport. So you are able to customize it to your specifics.
So I'm a big tech guy, and there's a lot of technology in the car, some of which we're talking about right now for safety, for ride, for being able to adjust the seat the way you like it. But for a lot of people, the primary technical connection, the G-Wiz stuff, is in the center console. And I've got to say, from the ease with which I was able to pair my Bluetooth,
important,
my daughter was able to pair her Bluetooth to the car. I thought that was incredible. But once I got everything connected, the sound was incredible. And as you might imagine, I'm on a radio. I'm not necessarily an audiophile, but I know what the heck it is I'm listening to. And so I've got Boss 104 playing on this thing, and it was great. The first song that came up as I'm driving out of AK Lexus was "Lowrider" by War, and I'm listening to this thing like it was the first time I'd ever heard it in my life, because the surround sound system that you have in the car, which you can bypass, incidentally. Which you can bypass. There's a lot of different ways that you can mess around with the audio on this thing, but they've got this surround sound that made it so I could place the drums over here and the scratch on the guitar over there, and I could hear the keyboards tinkling off on the right hand side. It felt like I was on the stage with War performing that song.
It's awesome. And even so, on our upper lines, we have the Mark Levinson sound system that I know we will touch base on.
Well, because there's two. In fact, the one I was driving was I was going to say it was the standard system, or like a 9-speaker system, something like that.
Correct.
Like
correct.
3 or 4 in the front and a couple of basses in the back and all of that. And this is you don't see this very often in the automotive world. You'll see it in 7.1 systems at home. It has a center bar.
It does.
It has a center bar, which helps if you're listening in a Lexus ES350 right now, should make it sound so that Phil and my voices are coming from dead center in the console, and then all of the other speakers that just kind of wrap it all in there. Oh, did I put Nicole's picture back on the Facebook Live? Yeah, I guess I did. Sorry about that. So how many of these do you have in stock? Tell me about colors. Tell me about options.
All right. So right now we're very excited. You touched base. We do have the premium package, which is our entry package. We have the F Sport package, which is the sportier version with the sport suspension. And then we just received 2 ultra luxury packages. These ultra luxury packages have the bird's eye view surround camera. They have the panoramic full roof, sunroof, moonroof combo. They have the wireless phone chargers. You're a techie. All of these things I'm throwing at you, you got to experience. So we got to ask Ernie to let you try one of those.
I want to try everything. Maybe you'll stick around for a couple of minutes on the other side of the Fox News, because I want to talk about some of the other things that you've got over at AK. Not
Absolutely.
just the ES350, friends. That's just our way of getting you in the door to see what's going on. But they've introduced. I say we because been with it feels like I'm with the company for virtually every car I've ever owned came from there. But they've got the brand new RAV4 that's out there, and that new car, the
Lexus UX.
No, what was that? The one from the Scion that we were looking at. The one I thought it was.
Oh, that was the Toyota 86.
Yeah, I thought it was a Celica, but it's a whole different car.
Correct.
Like new one. Phil's pointing me in the direction of my producer. It's all right. All right, fine. He's like, your producer's trying to get a hold of you. My producer's trying to tell me I've got 4 seconds away from Fox News Live right here on KUSG. I got you.
Sentencing on hold. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn will be waiting a while to find out his fate. He was in court this morning.
After confirming the guilty plea, the judge seemed to chastise Flynn for making false statements in the West Wing, including lies about the conversation to members of the transition team, the vice president, as well as the FBI. He said, quote, "You sold out your country," the judge said, adding he could not rule out incarceration. The judge also questioned the basis of the case, asking the special counsel lawyer whether the Flynn phone call with the Russian ambassador was in fact criminal. And after a long pause, the government lawyer said it might be a violation of the Logan Act, which the judge seemed to laugh, saying, "Isn't that the act that no one has been charged with?"
Fox's Catherine Herridge in Washington. The special counsel's office had recommended no jail time. Reaction from the White House.
We're disputing that any actions he engaged in had nothing to do with the president. That just because maybe he did do those things, but that doesn't have anything to do with the president directly.
Spokeswoman Sarah Sanders, as for the delay in sentencing, she says they wish Flynn well. The deadline approaching, and lawmakers appear to be no closer to reaching a deal to avoid a partial government shutdown.
I think that Senator Shelby and I made what was a reasonable offer that both sides should have been able to accept to solve the border security issue and still pass the remaining 7 bills.
Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell.
A $1 billion slush fund is not what is right, what the American people want, and it couldn't get votes in either house to pass.
Senate Democratic Leader Chuck Schumer. The deadline to reach a deal is Friday. On Wall Street, an early rally largely gone by the closing bell as the price of oil sank energy stocks. The Dow gained 82 points, the Nasdaq up 30, the S&P up less than a point. This is Fox News.
Good news, Guam. Now you can design a phone plan that suits your needs by switching to GTA's handset payment option. With HPO, you can take home a new smartphone today and pay it down over 12, 18, or 24 months. You decide. And since there's no contract, you can upgrade phones at any time. So stop waiting. Join the thousands already taking advantage of the most flexible phone plan on Guam. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply. GTA, your island, your network.
Boldly styled, meticulously refined. The 2019 ES350 features a longer, wider stance and a sleek coupe-like silhouette inherited from the flagship LS. The ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive. Visit the Lexus showroom today at Atkins Kroll during the December to Remember sales event. Drive home a 2019 ES350 for 0 down and 1.99% APR for 60 months. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details. Experience amazing.
The transcripts of former FBI Director James Comey's answers before Republican House members released this afternoon.
James Comey told Congress why he did not alert the Trump campaign about the existence of a so-called dirty dossier until after the election happened. Jim Jordan, Republican from Ohio, asked him, were you concerned at all that the president might get the wrong impression, that maybe, in fact, you had this important information, that some way you could hold that over the president's head? Were you concerned about that? And did you convey it in such a way as to make sure he didn't go away with that impression? Comey said, I was very concerned that he might interpret it as an effort to pull a J. Edgar Hoover on him.
Fox's Peter Ducey in Washington. The city of Chicago in mourning after 2 police officers were struck and killed last night by a train while pursuing a suspect.
This is a particular tough time here for the 5th District. I don't know, and I've checked, ever before a single district in a single year. Both these 2 young men, but the others from suicide and a heart attack, lost 5 officers. I can't think in history a time that's happened to a single district out of the 22.
Mayor Rahm Emanuel, police say it's likely the officers didn't see or hear the train because they were looking at a train that was approaching them from another direction. A police spokesman saying the sound of one approaching train likely made it impossible for them to hear the other train that ended up hitting them. Both officers had about 2 years on the job. Miss America may be leaving Atlantic City again. Multiple reports say the organization is looking for cities around the country that may be interested in hosting the pageant. That's according to paperwork obtained by local newspapers. The organization seeking a venue with at least 3,000 seats. The pageant originated in Atlantic City nearly 100 years ago. It moved to Las Vegas in 2006, but returned to AC in 2013. I'm Lisa Lacera, and this is Fox News.
Do you know someone who has difficulty following conversation in noisy places or turns up the TV a little too loud? These may be signs of a hearing loss. Ross Hearing Aids specializes in hearing evaluations, custom-fit hearing aids using the latest in wireless digital technology, and custom-fit hearing protectors. Call Ross Hearing Aids today to schedule a complimentary hearing consultation. 637-HEAR, 637-HEAR. Ross Hearing Aids, located across Shirley's in Harmon.
It's time to go eat at King's because it's 5 minutes after 9 o'clock in the morning, and there is a breakfast waiting for you over there on their crazy holiday menu. What's the deal with the crazy holiday? It's holiday classics, the King's way. And frankly, there's a couple of different deals that they put together here that would look exactly the way your Christmas or your New Year's or your Thanksgiving plate would look like if you were doing it at your house, except you're not doing it at your house, and you don't have to clean any dishes, and you don't have to cook or do anything like that. Turkey sandwiches, and I love the sandwiches that they put together. They're cut and pica sandwiches. They've got a breaded fried steak sandwich, open-faced turkey sandwich, chicken ranch BLT, and of course, we talked about this yesterday, the Spam sandwich. There you go. That's exactly what I was thinking. 6 after 9. Find it for lunch, or breakfast, or dinner, because they'll fix it up for you anytime you want to at King's.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on the Point. Half a day. I'm Rita Tidegui of Manila, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Ingatan ang iyong tahanan. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
We're talking about how many different. If you got 5 shopping days, what'd you say? You got 5 kids? Is that So that's how we're going to keep them all together. Phil Leddy in the studio. 7 after 9, and portions of the Ray Gibson Show also brought to you by my buds over at American President Lines. They're shipping the future. Micronesia renewable energy. There's never been a better time to go solar. American Water Tech, smarter water, better water, and Guam Regional Medical City, the first choice for your open heart surgical needs.
Introducing Exchanged, Guam's first online and mobile remittance to the Philippines.
Exchanged is the easiest and fastest way to send money to your family and friends anywhere in the Philippines. Download the Exchanged app or visit their website, exchange.me. Sign up, remit, and get a chance to win a trip for 2 to Manila. Deluxe accommodations at the Belmont Hotel at Resorts World Manila. So sign up and remit now at Exchange. Promo ends March 2nd, 2019. Conditions apply. Also avail of Exchange dollar to remit promo. Visit exchange.me for details. Here's Wendy's. And as I said, I was driving around and finished my workout yesterday and thought, I'm hungry. I run 6 or 7 miles. You get hungry when you do something like that. And I remembered that Wendy's has a new artisan bread masterpiece. It's the bacon maple chicken sandwich. And it's hot, crispy home-style chicken fillet topped with Swiss cheese, applewood smoked bacon. Then there's drizzlage of this maple glaze, all in between a warm and fluffy croissant bun. A limited-time sandwich. So put some of that in your mouth before they are out at Wendy's.
Morning talk that matters. The Ray Gibson Show. Call now, 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
After 9 o'clock, and Ray Gibson here in the studio. Phil Leddy from AK, and we've spent a little bit of time talking about the ES350, the brand new 2019s. We unveiled that in a special showing at the Sandcastle.
That was fun.
Oh my God, that was great. We got the Sandcastle dancers up there. We got the acrobats in there, and the magic show, and all of that. I had an absolutely terrific time, and gave somebody the opportunity to have exactly what I had, which was an overnight test drive.
Right.
And I tell you what, I enjoyed it. Was very cool, and I got my daughter, right, picked her up from the game. We went like cruising to my sister's dinner over at Lone Star, and it was Friday night over at Lone Star, as you might imagine, fairly busy.
Correct.
And all I can think of was, I want to park this place someplace, number one, where it's not going to get dinged, but someplace, because I wanted people to see it. I wanted people to say that's the new ES350 that's out there. And so I found a pretty good spot over on the FHP side, or not the FHP, First Hawaiian Bank side. Don't tell I was using their parking when it was time to go eat dinner at the Lone Star. But even while I'm eating, I'm going, I want to get back in the car. I want to see what this feels like, what it's like to drive at night. Moonroof, sunroof, loved it. Loved it. But frankly, what I got to do the next time I get into a car like that's got the moonroof / sunroof deal, gotta have somebody else drive, because I want to be able to stand up over the top of it and wave at people from traffic.
Like it's Liberation Day.
Is it legal?
I don't believe so.
Do you think I'd get in trouble if I did something like that? Well, but the thing is, you can, because you can fit a whole human being through that, too, the hole in the roof, and it's nice. So, but that was nice. And then I took it down to Agate the next morning. There was the Guam Running Club had the alley-oop race, and that you need to be down in Agate for. So it was just a great ride all the way down from the Casa all the way into Agate, and just loved taking some of those southern turns that we've got there, and the way the car handled on those roads.
Beautiful.
It was great. And, I'm not going to talk about speed or handling at speed. Let me just say that the engineers at Lexus knew what they were doing and put a lot of stability in the car, low to the ground, and absolutely hugging the turns.
The weight distribution is excellent. And you touched about it on our first spot, the safety.
Yeah.
Yeah, so a lot of that is yes to increase your enjoyment of the drive, but it's also to make sure that you're not worried about any roll, you're not worried about any slipping or loss of traction for that matter. And you also talked about finding a great parking spot.
Yeah.
And right now, I'm just gonna jump into it, Ray. the best parking spot is in your driveway. And with the December to Remember event, there's only 2 models out of our Lexus program.
Nice segue.
There's only 2 models out of our Lexus program that we are offering 1.99. 1.99 is back. And that's 1.99 not for 48 months, not for 60 months, but for 72 months, no prepayment penalty.
Get out.
This
is the cheapest money you're going to be able to borrow anywhere.
Anywhere. It is the best rate on island.
Yeah.
1.99 for 72 months on approved credit. But the ES and our NX lines are the 2 lines that we were highlighting for December to Remember.
Interesting. Now, and now is that rate guaranteed, or is that based on my good credit? Because
it is definitely based on approved credit.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
Right. So you got to be some. Now, do I need a big down payment? Will you take the car that I've got in trade?
Mr. Patsiyama, our used car manager, will absolutely love to have your current car, and he is offering top dollar, so we will accept and offer you the best trade appraisal, but also. In regards to down payment assists the buyer. It's less money for the bank to tack interest on, but down payment is subjected to your credit as well. Most of my buyers, I would say 80% of my buyers, down payment is not required. And out of that 80%, half of them still would put down payment on.
Right. As you say, if I throw 10 or 20% at the deal, that's less than I'm going to have to finance on the longer run. Now, one of the things that I noticed when I went into the showroom on Friday, and in fact on Saturday when I dropped the car off, was just the sheer number of cars that I've never seen before. And like I want to go back into the AK line for just a second.
Not a problem.
And tell me again about. I thought it was a Celica, but it wasn't a Celica. It's a nice sporty design. You said it was an updated Scion?
Correct. So last year, Toyota went away with the Scion brand, but they kept 2 models. The 2 models that they kept was the Scion FRS Sport Coupe. That was rebranded as the Toyota 86. And that's the car that you saw and took your breath away.
Oh, my God. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm looking at the car, and I'm 19 years old again. Now, it's got back seats, but you'd never put anything in them.
Yeah.
There's no room in there for groceries, and there's no room in there for baby chairs and any of that stuff. This car is designed to be a young person's car.
It is a sport car to the T.
Yes. And all of the appointments that you expect from a Toyota were on the inside of this thing. And I love the black color on the thing. It reminded me, I used to drive a Celica GT in 1983, right? So like I said, I'm looking at that car going back to my 20s, and I thought this would be a suitable replacement for that car. And I love the price. The price on a very sporty price, competitive with everything else that you might see on the lot. But that's not the only new one. You've recasted the RAV4.
The RAV4, the redesigned RAV4 is amazing. Actually, our first shipment, I believe 20 came in and 20 are gone.
Already?
I know there's probably a few limited models that straggled in a later shipment that we might still have available, but a lot of people are pre-purchasing vehicles from our shipment, I believe towards the end of the month or early next month. It got bigger. And a lot of people,
the last time I saw it, I thought it was bigger, because the last time I saw it, I thought, oh my God, how do we distinguish this between the Highlander and the RAV4?
So you have great interior space and storage space without having the third row. Because some people don't need a third row.
Yeah.
Some people aren't mass-producing children like I am, so they just need the 5-seaters, and that suffices. But yeah. So with the space, the new space of the RAV4, like I said, they're hot to trot. And then I was mentioning earlier, we do have a brand new Lexus model, which we are going to have a launch very shortly. It's called the Lexus UX.
So it is based on, or not based on, but similar to the CHR.
Correct.
Coupe High Rider is what the CHR stands for in that line, which is absolutely terrific. It's a very sporty styling, very cosmopolitan styling. In fact, the doors on the CHR actually open differently than any of the others. The door on the rear doors on the CHR open from the top of the car, not in the middle of the door, which I thought was very, very cool. Already equipped with the HD radio, so your favorite radio station, Boss 104, already comes in as an HD, as hybrid digital radio station. You can get in the analog side, but it will sound better on the HD side. And all of the things that we treat on our radio stations, the RDS messaging that will tell you what time it is and what the weather's going to be like, and what the advertisers want you to do, title and artist of the songs, that kind of thing. That's all built in already. The technology is already in that car. But like I said, I like the CHR, and you're telling me that there is going to be a Lexus version
There
of it?
is.
There is a Lexus
It
version
landed.
of it.
It landed. It is called the Lexus UX. The segment is called subcompact crossover.
There.
And it's perfect for Guam. Reason being is some people don't want a true big SUV. So being that it's a crossover, so it's basically a sedan that's lifted, if that makes any sense.
It does.
And it's great for Guam because of Guam's rains or the potholes. So we're really excited. And here's the thing. The intro price to that, I'm not even sure if I'm authorized to say this, but intro price of our Lexus UX, you're going to be able to get the brand new Lexus UX for right around $39,000.
Look, it makes Nicole smile. See, look at Nicole smiling just talking about that. Another great deal on the lot. That's what did you call the style of that car?
Subcompact crossover.
Subcompact crossover. Now that's and it's not just AK and Lexus that are doing this.
It's a new segment.
It's a new segment in the market here.
Yes, sir.
So like there's lots of other car dealers that are doing this. So if you're thinking that what we're talking about sounds like a great deal, make sure that you go see first the ones over at AK and including the new UX. Is it in the showroom already?
We brought it in the showroom.
Nice. And you said you're going to be launching it soon?
We're going to be launching it soon. And I'm pretty sure you're going to get a call about
Soon as you call me. Yes, call me. but you know what? This overnight test drive thing. That's a tease, bro. That is a total tease. I mean, just as I'm getting to the feel of how much I'm loving this car, and normally, I go to these races and I hang out with my buddies, and we talk about running and racing and stuff like that. And at the end of the race, I just wanted to be close to the Lexus. Because I had the tunes going and I had some water and stuff and great. That's funny thing is because you look at the ES350 and you're thinking all right, it's got this coupe design, it's close to the ground, very low, and you're thinking what am I missing here? Is there going to be a space issue? And it's crazy how much space there is on the inside, and I was floored by how much trunk space there was in the car.
It's the widest rear cabin in its class.
That's something else. Phil Leddy, and for those of you watching on Facebook Live, another picture of Nicole, and then if you can scroll up and down on that, you'll see a couple of places where Phil has given you contact information and some details.
Absolutely.
So don't be shy about going to see him. Look, it's the holidays, it's Christmas, and while we might not be talking about second cars in the family, take whatever you're driving, make that the second car. Swing by AK Lexus, swing by AK Toyota, and see if your new first car is going to be there. Got somebody graduating, somebody's getting the driver's license this year. All right, whatever you're driving, that's theirs. Treat yourself to something new these days. And it's 2019 right around the corner. Maybe it's time for an upgrade for you.
Absolutely. You got to make December to remember, and that's what we're here for. Once again, my name is Phil Leddy. Thank you so much, Guam. You can contact Phil the Deal at 777-0240.
I like the way he puts that together. It's 9:19, and the Ray Gibson Show continues on the other side of these.
Boldly styled, meticulously refined. The 2019 ES350 features a longer, wider stance and a sleek coupe-like silhouette inherited from the flagship LS. The ES350 offers an ultimate level of comfort, while cutting-edge engineering delivers a thrilling drive. Visit the Lexus showroom today at Atkins Kroll during the December to Remember sales event. Drive home a 2019 ES350 for 0 down and 1.99% APR for 60 months. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details. Experience amazing.
Good news, Guam! Now you can design a phone plan that suits your needs by switching to GTA's handset payment option. With HPO, you can take home a new smartphone today and pay it down over 12, 18, or 24 months. You decide. And since there's no contract, you can upgrade phones at any time. So stop waiting. Join the thousands already taking advantage of the most flexible phone plan on Guam. Limited time offer. Terms and conditions apply. GTA, your island, your network.
Job of posting anything to Facebook yet. What a bother. What numbers did we end up with? 204 today for the latest image of the blah 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 sports with Rene Logie picture on Facebook story, and that's probably going to be going away. So I probably should add today's story to the gizmo. But there's other stuff I got to take care of. 9:21 in the morning. 888-8255. That's 888-TALK. As we make it through. golly, is it Wednesday? I already spent a lot of time yesterday talking about where we are in the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's holidays.
Yeah, but this close, you can't really talk about it too much, I think.
Well, it depends on what you want to do.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you want to do for the rest of the year, and how much time do you have? I mean, it's like shopping. It's like Christmas shopping at this point. You know, it's 5 days out. So what's number one? You still have to fight the crowds, and number two, what's left?
Mm-hmm.
what is there left to buy? Where's the big? Are there still any big deals out there we're talking about? Yeah, the car thing. Yeah, that's fun.
I was lucky this year. I don't have to buy any gifts for anyone, so I just watch everybody else stand in the lines and just giggle quietly to myself.
Exactly. Well, work on the closing of the year, and I think reflecting a little bit on what Jerry Roberts was talking about. This morning, when he was doing the extra point, is that you look at the world here, and you look at 2019. What's ahead for us in 2019? And the answer shouldn't be, I don't know. Let's wait and see. There should not be a let's wait and see what happens in 2019. Yeah. You need to start. You need to have decided, I don't know, a couple of months ago what it is that you're thinking about in 2019. I know that I've got some what I think will be some of the most fun technical projects that I get to work on are going to take place in the first quarter of 2019. Frankly, I wanted them to take place in the last quarter of 2018, but, you get around to this time of year and you order something from somebody or you get something repaired from somebody and they say, oh, yeah, we ought to be able to get that to you around, I don't know, just before Christmas. And you're going, why can't you get it to me earlier? Well, it's the holidays. Hello. And it's the same. You're going to have delays in the shipping. You're going to have delays in the manufacture and the assembly of all of this stuff. Companies in the states that you deal with, same as me. Companies in the states that I deal with, they all have holidays and do things with their workers and all of that. Anyway, so I'm looking forward to those conversations around here. I don't think, in fact, we looked at the calendar. I don't know that we're going to be able to have our holiday party until probably around Valentine's. I think it's just all of the we're picky is the only way I can describe it. There's a place where we like to get together.
Yeah,
that is kind of out of the way and sort of boondocksy.
You can't tell them.
Well, I'm not going to. I'm just saying that. But we're not the only ones that know about it. And frankly, before we could nail down a reservation on it, everybody else said, "Yeah, we'll do our parties late in the year, early in the new year," and they bagged it before we did.
It was funny because last year after we had our event, of course that was I'd only been here a week, and I'm posting on Facebook, and suddenly I have people that I don't even know going, "Hey man, who do we contact to rent that place? What's up?"
Nice place.
And it's like, I don't know, and I can't tell you.
Yeah, so the earliest availability on the place where we like to get together, kind of out of the way but central and everything, is booked for most of January. So it won't be until February that we cool kids are going to be able to go out there and have a good time in the Boondocks. But that's all right because it will line up nicely with the first anniversary of the Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point. Hooray!
I still have no idea what that show is going to sound like. I know I should have a better plan.
I don't know. Well, the initial plan is for us to do an away broadcast.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. Is we'd go and do the broadcast from elsewhere, and I don't know, bring in a bunch of the people friends. that we enjoyed talking to over the last 12 months, and some of the issues, and see where those are in the last 12 months. I mean, I will have had after the first year is done, I will have had an opportunity to review where we've been. Some of the topics that we've talked about, some of the things that got some great conversation going, and some of the things that maybe some of the things that I thought were going to be big deals that, as it turns out, didn't become big deals. And then there is the stuff that we're still in the middle of, right? I'll give you a good example of that is effective today. Who's the majority leadership at the 35th Guam Legislature? We think we know who it's going to be. Tina Rose Munya Barnes and Regine Bisco Lee is the Committee on Rules, and Amanda Shelton over as the secretary, and who is going to be the vice? Was it Tilena? Talina Nelson was going to be the vice speaker. I think that was the name that's
yeah.
in my head, right? But it's not set in stone. They have yet to set that in stone, and there's still room for maneuvering, horse trading disagreements, if you will. And then there was the flap with the minority legislative minority over at the place, where everybody said, well, that should be a shoo-in for Mary Torres. That should have been the Mary Torres award there. She ought to have been able to jump right in and say and tell everybody else what they were going to get as the senior most ranking Republican at the 35th Guam legislature. She should have been able to go in and say, "Will, this is what you're going to do." And Jimmy, this is what you're going to be doing. But didn't work out that way. And that has a lot of people scratching their head and wondering what it's going to be like, how interesting the first few weeks of the 35th Guam legislature are going to be. No doubt it's going to be an interesting last couple of weeks for the 34th Guam legislature. And I might not have put enough distinction on that. 35th Guam legislature, as it were, is going through, I think, some interesting last couple of minutes here. I'm trying to find exactly the spot in the conversation that was taking place last night between Therese Terlahi and Mike San Nicolas. And I might have it queued up to the right place. I might not have it queued up to the right place. But apparently there was a little bit of room for fireworks last night, and this is what a little bit of that discussion sounded like.
That we would so blatantly disregard what they are advising us. And I think it's clear that they are advising us that our proceeding with this bill as is going to perhaps create a liability that we may not even have, and that is something that they are not able to determine right now. And so maybe, this bill needs to wait. And I think it's the opposite of putting more pressure on them to determine facts or liability when they have not even received from the aggrieved party all the facts. They said there's nothing in their office that has been received regarding this case. They don't even have the NOV. So even so many aspects of this potential liability are not before the Attorney General. I mean, we can try to send our files over to them, but I don't think that's how they should be determining liability. I would think they're either going to need to get a claim from somebody, the aggrieved party, the Chamorro Land Trust, or someone asking them to. The Chamorro Land Trust, who is the client, has not asked the Attorney General to find a way to pay more money. They came to the legislature because they knew it exceeded their authority to pay any more money. That's why they came to us, because they knew it exceeded their authority, and they knew there's no way it was not approved by their commission, and it's beyond the scope of what they are authorized by law to do. Anyway, so I object to that motion. In fact, I think it's insulting to the Attorney General's office, who represents all of us. In this particular instance, they do not have the materials that they would need, I would think, just because of what they've said earlier about what's not before them.
Interesting conversation. And while there might be some that feel that Mike did an outstanding job maintaining some degree of decorum at the legislature as a result of what I'm told are a little bit more emotional conversations in and around this time period, I'm still with her. There's too many questions on this, and it is not as though we've got all of the money in the world to set aside for recycling. We've got enough environmental issues out there that need every possible resource that we have, and rather than steal money from another fund, raiding another fund outside the scope of the authority of the legislature, I think she's right. Maybe it's somebody needs to spend a little bit more time looking at this. It's been as many years as it's been. You know what? We can wait out a couple more years. Bottom of the hour on the radio station, 888-8255-888-TALK. And I'm getting a note earlier. Would spend some time trying to help a family get reunited. Daughter Gabrielle Rodriguez had come up missing as of about 6 o'clock last night. Family obviously very, very worried about all of that. I am getting word here and I'll see if I can get this confirmed with the family that she has returned home. I'll see what I can dig out. That's what I'm working on right now, is to see if Mike can find her and get that happy news confirmed. I'm trying to see which chat it's supposed to be in. There is an alert that has been going around about a missing child. Someone I know is a family friend and posted that about 5 minutes ago from the child's parents, Gabriella is home. Thank you, and thank everyone. She has returned home safely. We'll see what we can find out in the next couple of minutes. Do I need to take a break? All right, fine. iConnect time is 9:32. Swing by iConnect and learn about their Connect and Win contest. Just a little bit of time between now and then to be able to get it all together. But you and a friend, Manila Holiday Inn Express, will cover the airfare and the hotel accommodations. But all you got to do in order to be eligible for that is sign up for an annual plan. Push to talk, mobile or internet, and that gets you signed up. Good luck from iConnect.
Family Finance, serving the people of Guam since 1959. Now you can start planning for the holidays by getting a personal Christmas loan from $1,000 up to $3,500. Family Finance has 3 convenient locations to serve you. Give them a call in Dededo, 633-4473, Hagåtña, 475-4545, and the Upper Tumon location on the 2nd floor of the Pacific Building at 647-5626. Get your Christmas loans today from Family Finance.
The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts of Guam Training every morning on The Ray Gibson Show.
The term flexibility is being heard more and more in the workplace. But what's the big deal? I'm Jerry Roberts, and at 7:20 a.m. on The Ray Gibson Show, we'll peel back a little bit of that onion.
You can find daily transcripts of The Extra Point by Jerry Roberts at GuamTraining.com. Tune in every weekday morning at 7:20 for The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts on The Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point.
All right, so Brad says there's another video I got to be looking at, the emotional buildup for a later explosion, but I still haven't found the exact spot. So Brad, I'm gonna ask you to do me a favor. This is the way you do it. You go and you click the share button. And in the share button, it will give you the option to share from an exact location. So if you could cue it up to the exact spot, because what I cannot do in here is review videos while I'm talking on the radio. I cannot. I know. I wish I was capable of that kind of multimedia multitasking. But wow, I'm sorry, I forgot to go to that part of DJ school. 9:34 in the morning. Very close friend, personal friend, Ken Leon Guerrero is on the line. Good morning, Ken.
Good morning. I caught your little discussion earlier about the leadership challenges and things that are still plaguing the 35th Guam legislature. And I have to say that this is something that I and a lot of other people are watching very closely, because we were hoping there was going to be a change in direction, that the leadership of the 35th Guam legislature was going to be more open and more accountable to the public, and that we would see less pork barrels rolling out of the legislature. And then we have the rumors rolling around that instead of being Therese Terlahi being put in place, Tina Munoz Barnes, who in the 32nd and 33rd legislature was queen of the pork barrels. And so we look at her moving into the speakership position as saying, voters and taxpayers of Guam, beware and watch the actions of the legislature extremely closely.
Well, I mean, just what we're seeing now. Just what we're seeing now. You got and I mentioned this yesterday because I thought it was incongruous. One statement out of the governor that says that the finances of the government of Guam are as stable as they've ever been. Not that that's the most convincing and not that that's the most encouraging thing I've ever heard in my life. Oh, so our structural instability is as stable today as it's ever been. Number one, and then number two, on the opposite side of the Guam Daily Post, you had the story about the legislature passing by one vote. By one vote, they managed to pass Tom Adams' bill that would add the words "or more," and that's all you need to know. More. is what the legislature and what the government is trying to do is take more taxes out of the economy and take productive dollars and make it unproductive dollars in the government of Guam. And I'm going, one doesn't make sense. If you're telling me that there's now no longer a fiscal crisis, then we don't need that part of the legislation. We don't need that part of the budget bill. And if it's flawed, leave it flawed if we don't need it.
Well, going back to that clip you ran with on the recycling bill, that's another example of what we're talking about. Because if you think back to the 33rd, in the last days of the 33rd, Tina Munoz Barnes tried to push through the GRRP bill, and now we're looking at another special interest package going through on this landfill stuff. But when you go back, it goes right back to the agencies. And I'm hoping that the incoming governor does something about appointing an ethics commission, because that's what's missing here. Because when you look at that commonalities between Guam YTK, GRP, the landfill, Manhita Farms, and other things, going back to Manhita Farms, when I was doing the research on that, I went to Department of Agriculture and pulled the original contracts and leases. One of the folders has a memo in there from, I think it's like 2004, and the memo says, all the documents pertaining to this agreement have been misplaced or lost, and this memo constitutes the entire agreement. Here's the lease that was issued supposedly in 1984 or 85, and in 2006, 2007, we have a one-page memo that says this memo constitutes the entire agreement, no detail whatsoever. So this goes back to ethics commission issues.
If that's all of the information that you have, if there is that kind of massive flaw in it, then something else needs to be done. It seems to me that you probably shouldn't be able to push through with any further discussions until there is clarity found, or the original documentation is found, or there is another agreement that gets cast. Wouldn't that be the right way to do it?
That would be the right way to do it, but then take it back to GRRP. GRP's original lease had four one-year leases, and at the end of the second year, they hadn't completed any of the requirements, so GEDCA foreclosed on the lease. And then, about 5 or 6 years later, Waggy Gurgis comes along and signs a promissory note to pay the money that the IEEI didn't pay, and then GEDCA resurrects the lease by memo. So here was a contract that was dead. It was terminated with extreme prejudice in the court system. And then by virtue of a guy coming in and say, hey, that $138,000 you loaned IEEI, I'll pay it back after I build a waste energy plant. Sign here. That's an ethics issue.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, we'll watch and see what happens. As you say, the end of the 34th Guam legislature is going to make the beginning of the 35th Guam legislature that much more interesting, made so by the fact that there's going to be another governor. But there is still some signing that the governor needs to do right now. And I'm encouraging Governor Eddie Jerome Baza-Calvo to veto the legislation that Tom Atta has passed, because by his own words, it's no longer necessary.
Yeah. And as long as we're talking about the 35th, and I'll wrap up my thought here. Here we have two senators who were among the highest vote getters, which shows that voters approve of these people, approve of the actions of these people, and are very, very supportive of these people. You would think that would be enough for the incoming legislature to say, hey, look, these senators have the respect of voters. We need to respect that level of support they're getting from the public.
Mm-hmm.
And that's not happening.
But has it ever happened?
That's a good question. But
I mean, we could take a look at we could look at all of the different reports that come out of the Department of the Guam Election Commission, and take a look and say, okay, highest vote getter here, and that should have made this person the majority leader. This person should have been the minority leader based on that. And sometimes it just doesn't work out like that. Sometimes it has everything to do with the whims, and you'll appreciate this, of the parties, of the party that either won or did not won. Even though they'll they'll say up and down that the party had nothing to do with it, and they'll talk about the appearance of a rift in the party, which I don't know. You're never going to be able to convince me that it doesn't exist. 9:41, dude. I got to run. I'll talk to you pretty soon.
Will do.
Okay. Listen, I'll catch you when I look at you. In the meantime, Merry Christmas and a Happy New Beer.
Merry Christmas to you and your family, too.
Okay, my friend. Kenley N. Guerrero on the line, one of my favorite ombudsmen that we have around here, and also from time to time one of my favorite conspiracy theorists. Okay, all right. Just looking at a couple of things on the Facebook and in a note here from Vicky Ganashis, who was instrumental in helping guide me through the conversation of the missing girl here today. And the word is that she is home and is safe. I don't know exactly what happened, but and I don't. At some point maybe we don't get to know. It might just be one of those. I got tired of hanging out, and I went someplace.
The fact of the matter
is,
having raised 4 to adulthood myself, or helped raise 4, there is sometimes a secret or hidden life that our kids have that's not necessarily nefarious or anything, but we just don't know everything they're always up to, and it may have been one of those situations. I'm glad she's back home safe, and that's what it kind of points to with me.
And so it'll be interesting. I wish I could be a fly on that wall. All right. Well, that's the good news here. 9:42, and that's the word I'm getting from Vicky is that everything is okay, A-okay, and baby girl is back to the house. I'm trying to remember the first time that I stayed out so late that it didn't matter what time I got home. I was in trouble already, and it might have been, I don't know, sophomore year, junior year in high school, something like that, when me and my friends are goofing off. Curfew is at 11 o'clock. I finally got around to looking at a watch at, I don't know, midnight. Oh, what the heck? I'm in trouble already. I might as well stay out.
Yeah, my dad was a World War II and Korea vet in the Marines.
Oh, so
that was something I was never even going to attempt.
Yeah.
That
I can
not
see
going to
where
happen.
It could be a little bit of a hard time. So let me go back to the legislator. There's a couple of tapes that I've been sent. One of them has got the beginning of when people were getting emotional, and I think I'm within a few seconds of listening to a little bit of emotionality going on and drama at the legislature in this conversation about what needs to be done with cocoa recycling.
Acting Speaker Terlahi, you are recognized.
I have a point of order. I think we have less than a quorum here, and it seems obvious to me that the members are either busy or they've got something else to do tonight. I would ask, Mr. Chair, that you recess us until tomorrow at 9 to continue when everybody's here.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe Senator Lee is still with us, and we do have a quorum. But on that motion, Madam Speaker, just an advisory, I have been informed by legal counsel that in the interest of ensuring that we are able to make our engrossment deadline for tomorrow, and that we are able to recess our session, and Senator Lee's present, recess our session and be able to meet our potential veto override deadlines that are a potential from Megalahi, we would need to conclude our proceedings this evening at earliest so that engrossment can take place and voting can commence. I wanted to advise that with respect to your motion to recess at this time.
Well, it wasn't a motion, it was a point of order.
Point of order.
Stating the lack of a quorum and asking you to recess us.
I see. The quorum has been reestablished. Do any of my colleagues have any amendments on Bill 350?
There's awkward moments of silence here. And I'm waiting for yet more. Might be a few seconds away from it. It's being categorized and described as Therese loses her mind here. We'll see.
Do any of my colleagues have any amendments on Bill 350? If there are none, we could entertain a motion to advise and rise from the Committee of the Whole. Are there any amendments to Bill 350? Acting Speaker, you are recognized on an amendment to Bill 350.
It's very hard to pass any amendment right now because we only have 8 people here and it's very clear where their allegiances are lying. But I would like to ask that...
Acting Speaker, you will refrain from making comments about our colleagues in such a manner.
Mr. Chair,
Please
you have
proceed
cut me
with
off
your...
from asking questions of the panel. You've cut me off from the middle of my questions
Speaker,
when they
you have
were
the floor
here.
with respect to amendment on 350.
You will not recess us till the rest of the members are here. So I wanted to bring up this issue. If Section 2, some of the arguments that have been made that Section 2 of this bill.
Wait, was that it?
First of all, I rise in objection to this bill. This bill very clearly intends to create a liability for the government of Guam that does not exist at this time, that is not recognized by the Chamorro Land Trust, which is the party to the only potentially legally binding document that we have been shown. It's the license agreement. And there's not even been an opinion by the Attorney General to the Chamorro Land Trust or to us that that document is binding. But even if it was, the maximum amount of liability for the Chamorro Land Trust Commission pursuant to that license is $1.6 million. But this bill would extend liability to the government of Guam to $7.5 million. And I don't believe that we should be in the business of doing that without any court order ordering that the government of Guam is liable, with our, at the very least, an Attorney General opinion stating that this is an obligation on behalf of the government of Guam. In fact, they're saying the opposite. Or that they're saying that it's possible that that is not the case, and that this bill would absolutely be the instrument that creates that $7.5 million liability. And I know it's Christmas time, but I don't see any reason why we are going to play Santa Claus with the people's money, the money that they've been putting aside, $25 for every single car, every single registration goes to this recycling revolving fund. It's been, you know, finally we've been criticizing the Guam Environmental Protection Agency for not using that fund for its intended purposes. The people of Guam have been criticizing us for using that fund for other than the Guam legislatures, and I would say before my time, those legislatures sent that money elsewhere, other than for recycling purposes. And I for one, am here because I want to ensure that this money gets to its intended use, that it is used for our future cleanup of Guam, future programs that they have finally done all the work to put into place. These programs are, I mean, we went through the list of them. And I just, you know, it baffles me that after we criticize the Guam EPA for not getting on the ball and getting these rules and regs done, tomorrow they're having their hearing on the rules and regs, and we have given them the money. We have already appropriated this money to them, to the Guam Environmental Protection Agency, to implement all those programs. This bill would instead, in the middle of the game, while they're just about to implement their rules and regs, this bill would take that money away from them and give it to some past debt that is still not proven.
Good point.
And I just think that's a gift that we cannot afford at this time. And if there comes a time when this debt is proven and owed, then that legislature, will have to find a way to pay that. Just like that legislature has to find a way to pay all the other existing liabilities that it owes to people in Guam.
I think that she needs to breathe every once in a while so I can jump in with a comment one way or the other. But right there, if you ask me, and you can say whatever you want to about fireworks and decorum, and Mike's got the gavel and all of that, but I appreciate the fact that there is somebody down there that was thinking about the taxpayers and the people that are putting money into all of these accounts for which there seems to be just unbelievably and with increasing frequency they're rateable. They're rateable. And then when we come around to having the need to do something with those dollars that they were actually meant for, we got nothing. We got nothing. And she's right. And I've been following this. The EPA finally, apparently, is ready to start moving forward with the process that would get their rules and regulations ratified so that they wouldn't have to necessarily worry about the fund getting raided unless it was for some very specific purposes. And it wasn't that long ago, in my mind, that we had one guy who was over at the EPA, took funds out of there, took money out of there, and said, I'm going to buy the mayor's trucks. And they were nice trucks. And they were only supposed to be used for the purposes of recycling in the village.
And yet I see one over at the Joy Market doing laundry every Sunday.
You see them at the Joy Market. You might see them. They're out there doing all kinds of other things. We saw them dropping their kids off at Carline in school, picking people up at the airport. You know, it's not dignitary work here. They went picking up relatives at the airport with these vehicles. And that was the first set of vehicles that they bought. My understanding is they wanted a bunch of blue ones. And by the way, can we also get white ones? And obviously car companies around here, yeah, I'd love to sell you those automobiles. But they were able to do it because the funds were there and there were no rules on it. And she's right. We're finally getting to a point where we've got some rules that we might be able to depend on that will actually make a difference in cleaning this town up. So let's stop screwing around with it. I hope that they are unsuccessful in moving this forward. Now, the other thing that I got to find out is I got to go back through the paperwork and find out what measures the governor has vetoed. Because it looks like, I don't know if you heard Mike talking about it, but they needed to get everything done last night so that they would have time to engross not just the bills that are moving forward to the voting file, but also vetoes of the governors that they want to override. 9:52 in the morning, 888-255-888-TALK. Yeah, we'll get to that here in just a second. 9:52, quick break. Jack, I see you coming your way.
Here at APL, our core values give the company its heart and soul. Whether it's connecting your business with our global network through our newly enhanced service or investing our efforts into giving back to the community, APL is committed to serving you. We humbly honor the opportunity to find innovative solutions for you and your business. To learn more about our enhanced service, call 588-4651 or visit www.apl.com/Guam for more details.
At Guam Regional Medical City, it is our mission to become the island's premier choice for specialty care, like cardiology, pulmonology, neurosciences, orthopedics, oncology services, and more. We aim to protect our island from heart attacks, strokes, cancer, and diabetic complications. But should you suffer from such diseases, we're ready with world-class options, both inpatient and outpatient. For more information, visit us at grmc.gu.
I believe up in Jigo, a restaurant, a McDonald's restaurant, where there's nobody in front. You go up to a machine and make your order is the way the thing works, is my understanding. And get ready for more of that as the cost of manpower goes up, but the value of the job that's being done doesn't necessarily go up with it. It just needs somebody to push a couple of buttons in the front, and frankly, that's work that the customer could be doing, and so that's the way that's doing. There's another story I thought it was very interesting. Food and Drink, it's a lifestyle magazine, is talking about a serious problem that they have in San Francisco, and I don't know what you know about San Francisco. Very nice place, very Tony place. You know, it's got all of the things that everybody says about
it's
the
foggy
hills
there.
and all of that fog. Yes, and Golden Gate Bridge. A lot of people want to live there. It is probably also one of the most expensive cities in the United States, maybe the world. And what people are finding is it is so expensive to live there that the people that you would normally bring in to wait on tables, mix drinks behind the bar, cook food in the kitchen, wash the dishes, all of that stuff, can't afford to live in San Francisco. It's gotten to a point where they've got to have 2 or 3 jobs in order to afford an apartment and something of a lifestyle, and just can't make ends meet. So they're starting to see a major problem with restaurants that cannot hire anybody because nobody can afford to live there.
Yeah, I do know one thing about San Francisco, and that is folks that are gainfully employed but still have real struggles trying to live in San Francisco. Many of them actually live in Reno, Nevada. Reno, Nevada is one of the fastest growing cities in the country because by highway, as long as the weather's okay, keep in mind, you got to go over the Sierras to get back down in there, but it's only a couple of hours drive. And, you know, if you live in L.A., that's a normal drive to work. So for them, it's they'll take on the cost of the extra gas because they're paying a third in rent and other taxes. Of course, Nevada actually pretty tax friendly because they make all their money off of gambling. So that actually is happening too.
This handwritten sign in the front window of the closed Blue Fig Cafe last month bade a sad farewell to the days when San Francisco could support an old-fashioned coffee house. The problem that led to the 8-year-old Valencia Street Cafe to shut down wasn't a lack of coffee drinkers in the trendy Mission District, nor was it the sky-high commercial rents or the competition from the tech industry cafeterias. It was simply that it was nearly impossible to pay anyone in San Francisco enough to make you a cup of coffee. Crazy, isn't it? And I guess what's happening is the labor that cannot afford to live in San Francisco is going down to Los Angeles. Crazy, isn't it?
Actually, they're moving to Oakland, but
is it?
They've always lived in Oakland. No, but it's just across the bay. It's a lot cheaper. Not that much, but it is a lot cheaper.
I love Sausalito.
But anyways, yeah, the Jigo McDonald's isn't the only one of the kiosks. They have that kiosk over at, I think, Tamuning. They have a kiosk there.
I don't know how to tell you this. I haven't been inside the Tamuning McDonald's since I was a sophomore in high school. I mean, I just, I got a driver's license. And I don't go inside restaurants anymore if I don't have to.
And anyways, remember a while back. Oh, by the way, I just got back and I'm watching you on the YouTube. And what the heck is that growing in your face, buddy?
You know what? Thursday it was Thanksgiving morning and it was a holiday and I didn't feel like shaving. And then I woke up the next morning and thought I don't feel like shaving today anyway. So I came to work with a little bit of butt bus on my face. And I thought, well, I'll look at it again on Monday. And I looked at it again on Monday. And the comments that I was getting from people was, well, you know what? That's not so bad.
I don't know, man. It looks like you're getting ready to go into the witness protection program there, man, and disappear on the radio for a couple of years.
Cosendo.
Unless your name is Yakoi, you shouldn't really be.
So Cosendo said I look like Bad Santa.
Yeah, what's his name? Billy Bob.
Billy
right?
Bob.
Thornton, yeah.
I don't know. Dude, the chicks like it, though.
But anyways, yeah, you should get something at Home Depot for that thing. Or Go visit Dr. Vince there and have him euthanize it.
Well, okay, so give it another day here. I've got today is my regular haircut day with Ashley over at Rosie Ruse. So she's going to take care of the flyaway that I've got up on top, and then figure out what the connection needs to be with the beard. So far, she doesn't hate the beard.
Crisis on the radio here now.
I'm going to use the emergency entrance to Rosie Rouge today.
I just I got back from Cali and they're thinking about, get this, they're thinking about taxing text messages.
I'd heard that they were talking about, but I think the last thing I heard was they said, no, that actually, as we thought about it, is actually about the stupidest thing ever. And the FCC said that it was protected communication and could not be taxed.
Well, it's information, yeah. It's not telecommunications. It's just information. It's just like your Gmail.
Yeah.
Or your email. You can't really tax that. So, anyways, I was just thinking, did you ever have a chance to ask Bob about that? How many people can get on their cell phone at one time?
No, you know what? I did not. And unfortunately, I'm going to have to get you off the cell phone now. I've got news coming up in like 8 seconds. Give me a ring tomorrow morning a little bit earlier, all right?
All right.
And I'll hear you on Bob's show this afternoon, I'm sure. Take care, would you? There's our friend Jack. We're KUSG. Had gotten your headquarters for Fox News Live. See you tomorrow.
Fox News, that reaction from the White House after a federal judge postponed the sentencing for former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn.
The delay is something between General Flynn and the courts, and that's something for them to determine what that timeline looks like. In the meantime, we wish General Flynn well, and we'll continue to focus on doing what we do here every single day.
Spokeswoman Sarah Sanders, Flynn pled guilty to lying to the FBI about meeting with Russian officials during the transition. Another proposal to keep the government open past Friday stalls.
Democratic leaders rejected the latest proposal from Republicans, a government funding bill with more than $1 billion in border security through DHS, plus $1 billion more for President Trump.
The Republican offer today would not pass either chamber.
Instead, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says the president should accept a bipartisan bill funding DHS. Republican leader Mitch McConnell says he's consulting with the White House on a path forward, but both McConnell and Schumer say a short-term bill extending current government funding for a few more weeks remains a possibility.
Fox's Jared Halpern on Capitol Hill. The Congressional Hispanic Caucus calling for an investigation after a 7-year-old Guatemalan girl died at a Border Patrol facility. Caucus members traveled to that facility today.
It's clear that many of these facilities, not just the ones that we visited, are under-resourced, that there's a lack of training, a lack of equipment, and that all of that adds up to bad priorities or wrong priorities.
Texas Representative Joaquin Castro, the Border Patrol has said they were investigating the girl's death. After announcing yesterday he will not receive his severance, CBS has given no indication it will